All right, y'all. Y'all know how we do everything decently and in order when in the assembly. The order of prayer is mentioned in 1 Corinthians 11 chapter. Men are to uncover their heads. Women are to cover their heads. And we're talking about the crown of your head, or where the pineal gland is located for the women, and uncover because your husband is the covering, or if no husband, Christ is the covering, your spiritual husband. Also, we turn toward Holy Jerusalem, as mentioned in 1 Kings 8 chapter. Daniel chapter 6 and 10, when he was in Babylon, he turned toward Holy Jerusalem. We just happen to be in the west, so we turn toward Jerusalem, which is east for us, but not praying to no well and wall, no cubicle or anything of that nature, just turning toward where Holy Jerusalem come from. The laws, statutes, and judgment come from, I should say. That's right. Also, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 8, we are to hold our hands up high, such as a child will hold his hands up for his parents to pick him up when it's downtrodden. So y'all, we have a direction, we have order, and we got a psalm coming up.
So we're going to get this open in prayer with the Most High's permission, in the name of his only begotten Son, our Lord and Savior, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, locally known as Jesus the Christ. Reading from the book of Psalms in the 82nd chapter.
Yes, sir.
And it reads as follows. Yah standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly and accept the persons of the wicked? Selah. Selah. Defend the poor and fathers. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. But ye shall die like men, and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O Yah, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations.
Hallelujah! Selah!
Yes, sir.
It's raining. Shook upstairs. All right, y'all. Y'all know how we get down. We need to get this menorah lit. Y'all know how we get down. If you got any questions or anything on your heart, mind, or soul before we get started, please, y'all let us know what's on your mind. If it's a topic that we can hit a couple scriptures, get some quick understanding, we'll move on. Then we'll get to our topic at hand, which is titled, When Sin Has Conceived. So we're going to get some understanding today of spiritual conception, which means to make pregnant. So it may sound a little strange, but this is a living book, y'all. So countless number of scriptures just say, be sober, guard the mind of your loins. So the loins of your mind, thank you, bro. So you have a guarding for your mind so that bad conception don't get in there. So y'all, we're gonna hit a couple scripts on that. Did anybody got anything on their mind, heart, or soul? Anybody out there on the in the worldwide assembly got any questions or concerns before we get started with this lesson? See anything out there like Tobias?
Not just yet. Everybody saying Shabbat Shalom.
Check one, check one.
Shabbat Shalom worldwide.
Shabbat Shalom.
Roger that.
Okay. All right, y'all. So since we don't have any questions or concerns, you got anything on your mind, Lazarus?
Not off top.
Okay. All right, y'all. So we're gonna get right into it because we're trying to correct our late time, locally known around the hood as Negro time. We're about 45 minutes off, y'all. So we're working to get things back in order, y'all, so it won't be long. Y'all, so we're starting off with this topic today of when sin has conceived. So we're bringing this from the book of James, chapter 1. And what we want to get into is everything takes place in your mind spiritually before it could ever happen physically. There has to be a birthing process going on in your mind before the flesh find out about it. It's like a central station or your internet site. You got a server room that you have to connect to before you get information, before you're able to move on, so to speak. And that server holds all of the information. So just like your mental is holding all of the information. And what the Most High is talking about is, he said, I want to see how these children were born. So I'm going back to the conception in your mindset. So y'all, we're going to start off with the understanding of conception. If the dictionary's there, if you can get it, give me that H2029. And y'all, we're going to get a little bit of understanding today also, and understand how spiritual it was first in the garden. And what Paul spoke about concerning a chaste virgin or chaste virgin. Yeah, so spiritually in your mind, because we have to understand we are a bride for Christ. So he's speaking of us in that manner first. But each individual that's part of a body makes up one bride of his, and how he takes it in his entire church. So y'all, if we just the pinky finger of this body, then so be it. We're gonna ride this pinky finger to the finish line.
That's right.
And understand this, y'all, when you think about how important a pinky finger is, it controls 50% of the power of the hand. 50%. Cut the pinky finger off and you lose 50% of the strength of your hand. So if one thing, you know, you holding it out like that while you holding that shot of hand. But you ain't got to worry about no strength in that. But y'all, so from that perspective, y'all, even the baby toenail is very important to this body. All of them have a purpose, or they wouldn't be there. They wasn't just extra toenails laying around that the Most High decided to put it on the baby toe. No, it has a purpose. So y'all, like I said, we'll get those understandings there. If you hit H2029, I'm gonna give you a couple of them, 2032 and 3205. Shalom, bro.
And that's what the Most High means when he created everything in its own time and its own season, and it was good.
Yeah.
Because everything created has a purpose.
That's right.
Even mankind. Our own bodies are not fashioned for our own will. It's for the will of the Most High. So everything that was created for a specific purpose.
Yes, sir. Absolutely, Elijah. So, bro's pulling up that first one, H2029, and we're talking about conceive or conception. Y'all, and what's so very important is the conception when the Messiah, the Father, is talking about how the Messiah was conceived. Y'all, this is supernatural. It's a supernatural conception. We're going to hit on some things that tell you that everything done in heaven will be done on earth. We're going to see some supernatural conceptions in things that happen right before our face, but we don't want to pay attention to it. So we'll see this supernatural conception of the Messiah, which we will not allow him to be put after the sin of Adam and Eve, and not look at the glory he had before the world was. You know, and the scripture where he talks about his father, me and my father are one, with Joseph standing there. You know, so we'll talk about when they come to the temple looking for him. You know about my father's business? Joseph standing right there. He like, when I send you to the temple? No, he ain't said nothing. They pondered in his heart. Who is he talking about? My father. You know. So y'all, we're going to go ahead and get it. What you got, Zed?
H2029.
What it say?
Hara, to conceive, become pregnant, bear, be with child, be conceived, pregnator.
Do what?
Pregnator.
Pregnator. So y'all, this is what we're talking about, conception, and how fast does it happen spiritually. It happens so fast spiritually, but there's not a morning pill, a morning after pill, when the mental get pregnant with a bad thought, because it's going to produce itself from the flesh. And see, we have to understand the Most High ain't judging corruptible flesh. That's out the picture. This is on a spiritual level. He's judging the intent, the thought, and the integrity of the mindset. That's what you'll be standing in judgment of, because it's free of any outside interference but your own thoughts. I'm going to judge every man individually by his own thoughts. So once we get that understood, the flesh is child's play. What else you got for 2032, Zed?
To be conceived.
To be what?
To be conceived.
Okay.
To conceive, contrive, devise. Primitive root, to be or become pregnant. Conceive literally or figuratively. Be with child, conceive, pregnant.
Literally or figuratively. So when we talk about it up here in the mental of the mind being impregnated with either a good thought or a bad thought, because children are produced, even if it's spiritual children. This is talked about all throughout 1 John, 2 John, about spiritual production of children, which produces a right physical aspect. Because you're going to drop this flesh. This flesh is gone. The Messiah never talked about his position here on earth like he talked about, I need to go back to where I once was so that we set things straight. I had to get off my throne to come handle this problem. And I'm sitting right hand next to the Father. He asked me, go down there. Well, he commanded, go handle that business, get that straight. He's supernatural, though. Y'all, what we trying to get. Everywhere you look at the word super, I don't care what it's attached to. And when men use it, it's outside of the natural realm. When you say super glue, versus that glue you have when you're in kindergarten sticking paper together, you can't mess with super glue like that. Get super glue on your fingers, it's a problem they like this. Because it's going to take something to cut through that super like a razor blade, and it's taking the skin off of one side. So y'all, whenever we see the word super, so we're going to hit on a few things today. We're going to get a little bit on understanding on what superfetation is. So y'all, let's get it. Zeb broke all them down. We see everything it says, spiritually, fleshly, literally, an allegory, but it still means the same thing, to make pregnant. James 1 and 12. Now we get ready, bro. Who got it? You got it?
I got it.
Okay.
Reading in the book of James, in chapter 1, starting at verse 12. And it reads, blessed is the man that endureth temptation.
That do what?
Endureth temptation.
Yo, this is a long marathon to the finish line. If you looking for this to be the 100-yard dash, you're wasting your time. You got to pace yourself with this. There's many battles in a war. If you watch that long race, them 1,500 meters or wherever it is, 8-10 times around that track, you have to pace yourself. Five laps around, you start to see people fall off. Then you look up, you done got lapped. Then you in last place. You would have been in last place if you hadn't even trained. So, and you're training and end up in last place, y'all, we can't hustle backwards. Under no circumstances can we go back to the fleshly understanding of this spiritual law when it was given to Aaron and his priests. John said that's decreasing. The Messiah is here. He's on the increase program, and it's supernatural. You're about to experience supernatural power that was given to the prophets and some of the priests at the time. But the common man, all of them didn't have the supernatural powers. But when the Messiah came, he said, according to Melchizedek priest, everybody get this power. And if you do right, and if you conceive like you should, those supernatural powers will show up. They will show up. Go ahead, but read some more.
Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Most High hath promised to them that love him.
To the ones that do what?
To them that love him.
Now we can get into all the 1 Johns and John 14s where he say, if you love me, do what?
Keep my commandments.
Keep my commandments. You talking about you love somebody and cutting and stabbing, and you don't love that individual.
No.
Yeah, we have to understand what this is. There's something called perfect hatred. You just can't hate spitefully. It has to be perfected. Then you'll be more clearer on Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. You'll get clear on that. You'll get clear with Abraham and Eleazar. You will be clear once you understand what David was talking about, perfect hatred. When someone is an enemy of the Most High, if it's anything less than that, get away from it. It has to be about the Father saying, I don't want no parts of it. You can't have no parts of it. It's simple English. It ain't rocket science, because it has to be taught from the perspective of as soon as a young girl or a young boy reaches puberty, the laws apply for them. Leviticus 13, 15 on up. This is very serious because you can't talk over their head. If you talk over a 12-year-old that's in her flower and you take off over her head, that's a problem. It's going to always be a problem because you take the children out of it. The children are out of it. They're under your guidance until they reach puberty. Then you have to teach them how to keep the law so that they can love the Most High. So when they start to get these things from a child and grow up, then they can teach children. But if they're going to get it, it's going to be a rocky road, y'all. Let's get it, some more.
Verse 13.
What it say?
Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of Yah.
Tempted of who?
Tempted of Yah. For Yah cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
See, he can't be tempted with evil. How you going to tempt the Lord? The only evil started with Satan. There was no entity or spirit that caused Satan to do what he did. There's no head above the serpent. Satan is the master of it. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 14. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust.
Of his own what?
Of his own lust and enticed.
Now, lust has a positive and a negative side. We'll read in here for you can covet the best spiritual gifts. Take the money up to Jerusalem, Deuteronomy 14, and buy what thou heart lusted after. But what it says, do not lust after nobody else's belongings, property, personal information, their other half, none of it. You cannot put that in your mindset after somebody else's. But pride that brought down Lucifer, there is no positive side for pride mentioned in the scripture. It's one side. The prideful man will tumble down. So y'all, we want y'all to understand what we're saying when you see this, but he's drawn away. Whatever that lust may be. See, a lot of times we think it bad, but if he's drawn away to do this, say I want to do some charity over here, but if it ain't drawn away according to 1 Corinthians 13, then your lust to do right has to still be put in check. You have to make sure you are not causing a problem with your charity if it's not according to the instruction manual on how to give, on how to to perceive that I'm gonna do a right thing. You know, you could be doing this to be seen of me. But if you keep it according to the book of charity, then 1 Corinthians 13, then you'll understand and you'll have your instruction. This is an instruction manual. There's nothing going on in our heart's mind or soul that this book ain't tackling. Nothing. You couldn't think of nothing. Everything that's thought out here is evil comes from Lucifer, who does the flip side of what the Messiah is saying. And he's only changing this much. You know why? Because a little what?
Leaven.
Do what?
Leaven it the whole.
That's all it takes is this much. So he's not going to stretch this far for you can see him. He's masquerading like an angel of light. So he's going to be this close to the original. And that's what deception, that's where deception, but it say, be not deceived, because the first thing he going to do is show you the deception. And then he going to say, where you lust at though? And that what draws you in. Because he can't give you a free case. He goes to the Father and he challenges, I want him. I want to try him. I'm coming after him. He said, go ahead now. Integrity is deep down inside of this man. You can't get at it. You wasting your time, but go ahead. So he has to ask permission. So when we see this tempted and drawn away for your own lust, the Messiah ain't saying, go ahead. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've been thinking about it too, Lucifer. He was looking at that woman the other day. Yeah, go on, get it. No, the Messiah the Father don't tempt with evil. And Lucifer know better. Let's get some more. Where we at?
We're at verse 15.
Then
when lust hath conceived.
When it has done what?
Conceived.
And what we know conceived, we just got the understanding of it. It means when lust has become pregnant, it's finna produce something.
Manifest itself.
Huh?
It's gonna manifest.
It's finna produce something. Because it has conceived, whether it's from a righteous perspective or it's from a bad perspective. But this is speaking from bad perspective because it says the Most High don't tempt with evil.
That's right.
Let's get some more.
Then when lust hath conceived,
right,
it bringeth forth sin.
Right.
And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
That's what it brings forth, y'all. So we understand this is not speaking from a righteous perspective on this side of the lust. What this is saying is that once it's conceived, it's going to bring forth, you are going to produce death. It's no other way to try to cut it in half. That's what bad conception will do that starts in the mental. Because you have to think it out and you have to plan it out. Yeah, I'm going to do this. Yeah, then I'm going to roll by there. Then, yeah, I got that already set up. Yeah, they know about the lie. Yeah. Go on, deliver that baby. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 16.
What it say?
Do not err.
Do not what?
Do not err, my beloved brethren. Every good gift and every perfect gift is from above. And cometh down from the Father of lights, with whom is no variableness, neither shadow of turning. Of his own will begat he us with the word of truth.
With the word of what?
With the word of truth. That we should be a kind of first fruits of his creatures. Wherefore, my beloved brethren,
right,
let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, slow to wrath, for the wrath of man worketh not the righteousness of Yah.
Yes, sir.
Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness.
See, that superfluity. See, you can say fluidity, but when you put super before it, that means it's out of control. Magnified. I'm talking about it's so rough. Like I say, if you put a dress on that pole right there, you'll try to look up under it. Go ahead, bro.
Wherefore, lay apart all filthiness and superfluity of naughtiness, and receive with meekness an engrafted word, which is able to save your soul.
See, this is what it's about. If whatever the word is in that mental, and you get rid of that superfluity, is to make sure you save your soul. Y'all, your soul is priceless. There's no amount of nothing that you can put your soul on the line for. Nothing. And if you're playing with the devil, y'all know how he is. Mm-hmm. He's not on a mission for you to gain the kingdom. He's looking for company. We can hold that, bro. Let's get a little bit of Justice Sirach 2 in the Apocrypha. You may have to grab that Zeb Sirach, because we're going to be in that Apocrypha a little bit. We're going to get into some wisdom of Solomon. But just Sirach chapter 2, we're just going to hit a couple, and we're just telling you what to prepare your heart for, because the Most High says he don't tempt with evil, but his temptation is a trial. So when you look up the word temptation, you'll see like two words. There's always a positive and a negative. It say to go through a trial, or to be lured into the dark side. Come on, man, let's go rob this bank. No, partner. Come on, man, they hiring down there at this place. Which one? Which one? Even if you go to that place and get hired, wheels can't be spinning. Well, after I get the first check, I give me a quarter pound of weed, and then I got 3 or 4 people lined up. I'll put them out on the street. Shh. I'm gonna be up there. Come on. Then you go on them people's job and tell people to come up there. Yeah, just go down the potato chip aisle. It's right next to the Harvey's Chip and Dip. You'll see it there. Where we at, bro?
In the book of
Sirach
Sirach.
chapter 2.
We want to start at 1?
Just start at verse 1. We're going to read a couple verses of that. Y'all, so we understand this. Then we're going to get into the mindset of how the mind get impregnated. Either with a righteous thought that's going to produce children of the kingdom, or wicked mindset that's going to run this thing crazy down here. But it all starts up here. Go ahead, bro.
We're in the book of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha, chapter 2, starting at verse 1.
What it say?
And it reads, My son, if thou come to serve the Most High, prepare thy soul for temptation.
Prepare thy flesh.
Prepare thy soul for temptation.
Y'all see this? We're not talking about preparing this outer cup, which is going to be destroyed and ate up by worms. You got to prepare your soul, your inner. Something you ain't never seen. You feel it all the time. You know when you hurt in it. You know when it's been made to feel good, because it'll produce tears one way or the other. They're going to be tears of joy or tears of pain. But guess where they coming from? The soul. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 2. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in time of trouble.
See, you can't be ready to get out. You got to go through trouble. In a sense, if it comes, you got to see it all the way through, so that trouble don't come back no more. If you keep repeating the same thing, what is that called? And it don't work. Insanity. That's why they say you're insane. Read a little bit more down to verse 9.
Verse 3.
Uh-huh.
Cleave unto him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end.
See, y'all, this is what we're talking about, because he visits you at your last end. On your deathbed, or before something happened. Most people that die say, what, my life, if they come back to this side. I saw my life do what? Flash before my face. Starting from when you learn how to tie your shoes in, all the way up sitting on the pot, all the way up to this point. Flash before you. But most of them, after you get above the innocent stage, now you're into the stage that all you see flashing before your face is the bag. Why? I'm at death's door. I seen when I snatched Miss Johnson's purse. I seen when me and such did this. I seen that what is showing you all of that behavior is why you're having this vision right now. I ain't never heard nobody come out of near-death experience and start talking about when their life flashed before me. You know, man, I saw when I graduated, dog, and boy, when I learned how to cook red beans and rice for the old gal, man, that flashed by the ingredients, everything. When you seen that, you see a look of terror on their face, what you saw go by. Because everybody's saying, I got to do right, and the first thing they do is run back to the church or something that where they think righteousness is at, about that vision of death.
Perfect example was that movie Minister Society.
Yes, sir.
When that boy, he got shot up at the
Yeah.
end, and everything that bad was flashing before his face. And he was trying to clutch on to the last breath of life.
But see, that's how merciful the Father is, to give you a chance to repent even at that hour. Yep. But you know what our mind says? Give me another chance, Lord. I ain't gonna do it no more. Just like when your mama warned you, I ain't gonna do it no more. I swear, I ain't gonna do it no more. The chances of him saying, okay, I'm gonna let you go back and see if you're gonna do it again. Or you done had all the chances you gonna get. But it's still at that hour letting you make a choice, like the thief on the cross. When he told the other, you know what we do, we jack artists. We've been robbing. Actually, those two was robbing when Mary came through pregnant with the Messiah. And the one that saved gave them a pass. No, man, she pregnant. Give her a pass. Give her a pass. She pregnant. That was one of the thieves on the cross.
So the other one wanted to bust the fat off their head and rob them.
Man, don't care nothing about that. Shit, get that baby out of her stomach. Maybe we can sell that on the open market. So no, so that was just an allegory. You ain't gotta look like that. I ain't mean for you to look like that, sir. I'm just kind of expressing a little bit. What you got, Sister Kim?
No, I was just trying to find out what was in the scripture. How do you read that? But I said that.
Right, you know, there's other pseudo-figures, like we use Apocrypha as the book of Jasher, the Apocrypha lost book that speak of it, and there's some books called the Infancy that kind of get into the things that the Messiah knew. Judas, they came up together, grade school, so to speak.
It's in the infancy, you say?
Yeah, infancies, all of those lost books, you will see the infancy of Christ and different things. So you will see the coming up and the jack artists out there, but that's how far that was remembered. And he asked one thing, Lord, will you have mercy on me? Because I know I'm gonna die up here. I feel death at my door. He said, no, this day you're gonna be in paradise with me. Today you're gonna be in paradise with me. So do you think that was talking about the flesh or the soul? Because that's what's at stake here. So y'all, the mercy that the Most High showed to your dying death, you can't take that lightly. You cannot. Because sometimes you don't get to think. If somebody put a shotgun to your head and pull the trigger, there's no thought process left. Let's get some more. Where we at?
When the book of Ecclesiasticus, or Sirach, chapter 2 and verse 4.
What it say?
Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerful.
Take what?
Take cheerful.
How do you smile at a problem that's happening to you? Yeah, the lights and the gas off. You cannot if you cause that. If you're on the boat with that light and gas money, this a different cheerful. It ain't talking about that one. It's telling you when your mind is right and you know this is an attack from Satan. Take it cheerfully. Oh, he on me. Go on, get busy. Man, come on, make my work easy to get in the kingdom. Satan, bring it on. Bring it on. Let's get some more.
And be patient when thou art changed to a lower state.
Uh-huh.
For gold is tried in the fire.
What is tried in the fire?
Gold is tried in the fire.
Uh-huh.
And acceptable men in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him.
What we got to do?
Believe in him.
Y'all, this ain't nothing different from everything the apostles was teaching. If you don't believe Old or New Testament, you're wasting your time in this, or this is just ink on paper or a smooth read. And you put it back up on the shelf. This is a living book. If you say I love the Lord, get ready for the devil attack program. You're going to have to put on this whole armor to battle that. You can wear whatever you want on this outer cup, but ain't nothing going to stop supernatural arrows. We're talking about the word super again. Your devil, the adversary, is a supernatural entity that's been alive before the Garden of Eden. Know how to get down. Ain't nothing, his tricks ain't changed. Have his tricks changed since the garden? So we've been having examples since Genesis chapter 3, all the way up to the book of Revelations, talking about him using the exact same process. You know why? Because it works for those who disobey this word and allow a bad pregnancy up here. If you get bad, y'all, get a premature birth up here. Get a stillbirth up here and spew it out. Let that be flushed down the toilet. Go ahead. Where we at?
Verse 6. Believe in him.
Do what?
Believe in him. And he will help thee. Order thy way aright and trust in him. Fear that ye that fear the Most High, wait for his mercy, and go not aside.
Do what?
And go not aside, lest ye fall. Ye that fear the Most High, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Ye that fear the Most High, hope for good, and for everlasting joy and mercy.
So right there, we can hold right there. That's what our hope is. You're hoping for good, for everlasting joy and mercy, because that's what it's going to have to take, some mercy from the Most High. Because all of us, we know what's in our mindset, that we ought not be breathing oxygen this morning, except for these babies up in here. You know everything you can say right there. I could have been dead right there. Most High had mercy on me. So you have to always remember there's a level of anger or perfect hatred that you cannot go past, that you cannot have mercy on a certain individual that look just like you, or that look differently, or we should say that believe just like you do. There's a level of mercy you must add to this process. Hold that, bro. Skip. Go ahead. You can take it down the way you want to go, bro. Yes, sir.
I want to take it down to 15.
Yeah.
Verse 9. Ye that fear the Most High.
Gonna do 18, because that's the kicker right there.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Hope for good.
Do what?
Hope for good.
Right.
And for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Most High and was confounded? Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?
So the prophet is asking the question, can y'all name anybody from Genesis to Revelation that he didn't, that called on him in a true heart, that he didn't deliver? Go ahead.
For the Most High is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering, and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in time of affliction. Woe be to the fearful heart.
Woe be to who?
Fearful heart.
See, y'all, we can't have Satan's fear. F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. He's scaring you to death with something that ain't even real. Your mind get caught up in certain things. Fear, once fear jump on you, anything can get you. Dogs smell fear. That's why they get after you. When Satan smell fear, he get after you. Because he's smelling fear. Oh, he's scared. He's scared, don't even know he could tell me to get behind him. And know if he just look at me like this and resist me, I have to go away for a season before I come back. Don't know how much power you got because you're scared of the devil. What he gonna do but destroy the flesh? That the Messiah told us that's what he come to do. Destroy, kill the flesh. So this is already marked. It's that soul that he after. That's what he wants, because he knows he's a soul and where he's going to spend eternity. Go ahead, read a little bit more. Go ahead.
Read that, finish out that particular sentence and then jump over to chapter 1, verse 11 on down to 21, because you'll see it's two different types of fear. Okay? There's satanic fear, the fear that Satan will put, and then there's the fear of the Most High. Okay? So, like Daniel had just broke down the fear of Satan, you know, his pernicious ways. Then if we go to chapter 1, it breaks down what's the fear of the Most High. Okay, and we'll see the complete opposite in these fears and these fear factors.
At verse 12, woe be to fearful hearts and faint hands, and the sinner that goeth two ways.
So you see, this faint-hearted or this fearful heart is to a sinner.
Right.
This fearful heart belongs to a sinner. Let's jump over to that chapter 1 of that same Ecclesiasticus Sirach and start at verse 11, brother.
Chapter 1, verse 11. The fear of the Most High is honor and glory and gladness and a crown of rejoicing. The fear of the Most High maketh a merry heart and giveth joy and gladness and a long life. Whoso feareth Yahweh, it shall go well with him at the last, and he shall find favor in the day of his death. To fear the Most High is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb.
So that fearfulness belongs to the faithful, one who's following the righteousness and the commandments, statutes, and judgments of the Most High God and his holy begotten Son. So we see these are two different types of fears. Okay, read on, brother, and stop at that 21.
She hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. To fear the Most High is fullness of wisdom, and filleth men with her fruits. She filleth all their house with things desirable, and the garners with her increase. The fear of the Most High is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of Yah, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him.
And how do we love the Most High? By keeping his commandments.
That's right.
Read on.
Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is to fear the Most High, and the branches thereof are long life. The fear of the Most High driveth away sins, and where it is present, it turneth away wrath.
That's right. And you jump back over to that 2 and finish that on out, brother, and then we'll jump over into this wisdom of Solomon.
Back to chapter 2 and verse 13.
That's right.
And it reads, woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not.
What?
For he believeth
Now
not.
see, we see the complete opposite of what we just read in chapter 1.
That's right.
This faint-hearted and this fearful heart belongs to one who believeth not, to the sinner. The direct contrast to what we read in chapter 1, which is those who follow the Most High. Read on, brother.
Chapter 2, verse 13.
All right, chapter 2, verse 13. Okay.
Woe unto him that is faint-hearted, for he believeth not. Therefore shall he not be defended. Woe unto you that have lost patience. And what will ye do when the Most High shall visit you? They that fear Yahweh will not disobey his word, and they that love him will keep his ways. They that fear the Most High will seek that which is well-pleasing unto him, and they that love him shall be filled with the law. They that fear the Most High will prepare their hearts and humble their souls in his sight, saying, we will fall into the hands of the Most High, and not into the hands of men. For as his majesty is,
As his what is?
as his majesty is, so is his mercy.
So y'all got to understand the Most High has a balance that he keeps. His majesty, which will never be denied. It's way up here. And the mercy with that is equal. So y'all, we can't have an imbalanced judgment either. You got to always have some mercy and compassion because we're in a land that's ruling, that don't care about these scriptures. Their fear is of Satan. So you have to understand, and your brother right with you, you're going to be put in positions to where the fear is going to come in. And it's only going to be targeted toward the people that look just like you. So y'all, we want to move on, y'all. We just want to get that so we get a base of belief first. When you believe, every thought of wrongdoing come in your mind, you have to recall on your belief. Outer cup ain't gonna help you when it comes down to something that's internal, that's plaguing you.
That's why the Most High says, meditate upon these things.
That's right.
Day in and day out upon your bed.
Upon your what?
Upon your bed.
Right.
He says, meditate upon
What Jacob
these
said.
all the time, so that when you are faced with these afflictive circumstances
Right.
and situations, you have in your mind laws that gives you a way out. You have statutes and judgments in your head, in your mind and soul, that you can say, okay, I remember the scripture says this, to do this under this circumstance.
That's right.
So he always gives us a way out. Now, the end result is on us.
Right.
Whether we choose that right way or not. Because the Most High didn't create sin.
That's right.
Sin came with the fall of Satan.
That's right.
Sin came in when Adam chose to eat from that tree of knowledge of good and evil, to take in wicked doctrine.
That's right. So while we're going to get right to that so we can understand how the devil played and he never used. And see, y'all, this is why Messiah, be not deceived. He's talking to you. He like, if you get deceived, it's because you wanted to be deceived. Deception, Satan don't do deception like that. He know what you like. He know, see, when you're whispering in dark alley, he got his boys there. You just can't see him. Somebody on that flock will see it. On that meth, they see it because it opens up that pineal gland and you get to peep out into the supernatural. So when you see somebody cussing somebody out on the street corner, you're like, he gone crazy. Look at him just talking to the air. He's talking to a demon.
He see him.
He see him right there. You better get away from me. I done told you.
They present themselves
Right to him. See, because you beg to open that up. Oh, you ready to get down with this program? You ready to see into the supernatural, are you? No, everything they create in form of Kia is already inside of us. DMT is inside of us. All of these things but what the former Kia does is he take a certain amount of that and he put it into one package like a nuclear bomb. And then it jumps into the bloodstream and there you go. Now you got a whole vision of something like you in full HD looking around. I don't know what it's up to now. It was 1080i. I don't know what it's up to now. But you see right into the supernatural because it's jumping right into the bloodstream. Rolling right in there, y'all. So y'all, we have to be extra careful of what our adversary is doing to us.
And that's the reason why the Most High Christ didn't want us to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Right.
Because that dark side will be open unto us and we will try to seek as much knowledge about the dark side as we could as opposed to the light side.
Right.
Because what man is wanting, just like Satan, is power. Power to rule, to conquer.
That's right.
And so that's what it all boils down to. Is having the power to rule and conquer. That's why we weren't supposed to peep into the dark side.
That's right.
Or to mess with him. Because his whole mission was to bring down mankind. Because he was jealous. Because man was the landlord over the earth. And
That's
he
right.
wasn't. he was cast down and he still had no power. So his whole thing was to create a whole contrast to what the Most High and his Holy Begotten Son had created. He had to get his seed started on this earth as well.
That's right.
And his doctrine, his laws, just like the Most High and his Holy Begotten Son.
That's right. Genesis chapter 3 and 1, y'all. I just want to get just a little bit of this conversation, and then you hear her response. And what I'm talking about is conception, and then the message that Mary got. And then you'll see the conception of both when the mind was impregnated supernaturally. Y'all got to understand, he came the same way at both of them. Eve was without sin when he showed up. She was innocent. She was born like a grown child. But that's what we'll be, the same things if we born again, ain't we? If you 60 and you born again, you're a 60-year-old child in this walk.
That's right. Don't think of like Nicodemus.
Right.
A grown man climb back up.
Can he climb back up in there?
Don't get like Nicodemus.
Boy, you know, if O.J. Simpson's mama heard that, she'd be some problem big as his head is. She'd be like, no, go back and ask that pastor for a different understanding. I know it's got to be one. You can't crawl back up in me with that. Genesis chapter 3 and 1.
Genesis chapter 3, verse 1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord Yahweh had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Yahweh said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden?
See, that's the first question. Satan always do this, y'all. This the pattern. This is why he keep telling you, be not deceived, because you're deceived because he just making you think two sides real quick. And he always asks, what did God tell you to do? See, that's his job. Before he get you on bringing you down, he have to make sure you know what the rules are. Just like your parents do.
Only way to accuse you.
Right.
You can't accuse one without knowledge. You see what I'm saying? And deception is only effective through ignorance.
Right.
You have to have ignorance for deception to have its weight. And ignorance is not knowing. Adam was supposed to teach Eve.
Right.
Adam was doing other things. Adam was supposed to teach his wife. That's why a husband's desire should be to his wife.
That's right.
Stay your butt at home and teach your wife the righteous ways. That when she's by herself, she knows how to conduct herself
That's right.
righteously. There's no deception.
Yeah.
It can't enter. She knows how to keep that snake at bay.
Yeah.
Yeah, my husband gone, but so what? You ain't coming nowhere around here.
Right. Boom.
Get to
Slam the door.
Preach.
Slam the door. Boom. Look, it's Proverbs 31. It says her husband's heart does safely trust in her. It says she out handling her business, doing the thing, grocery shop, whatever going on, but he ain't worried. He ain't sitting back wondering about what's going on out there.
Ain't got to.
Because that can go on right in the same space.
That's why courtship is important. Know who you're dealing with.
Let's get some more.
Where you at?
Verse 2. Genesis chapter 3, verse 2.
Yeah.
And the woman said unto the serpent.
See, there's a conversation going on of supernatural individuals. One is preternatural, meaning that part of them is a product of the earth, which Adam and Eve was, is part of dust. But I want y'all to understand how much of the dust it was. Dust is the residue of dirt. So dust is when you rake these two fingers across the TV and say, I thought I told y'all to clean up the living room. It's just dust right there. Dirt is a clump of something.
Right.
But when you return the dust When they put, it's not a clump of dirt, is it? When people talk about ash to ash, it does. It's not a clump of dirt. It's little fine particles.
That if the wind blow it, it just goes
It's gone.
away. It's a vapor.
See, so he didn't take no whole lump of dirt and form. It was from the minuscule part of dirt, dust. You dust the crib, don't you? The house.
That's why he says your life is nothing but a vapor.
Right. You don't dirt the house, do you? I mean, if Dustin got this big, like you can plant a row of corn. Look, that's the way my weight set is in the basement. I hang clothes on that now. You can plant a row of corn dust on the waist that high, because I said if I miss tomorrow, I'm going to double up the next day.
Double up on the dust.
I was about 10,000 bench presses. So I finally just gave it to my son. Yeah, go and take it. Well, where we at? Okay.
We're at verse
Okay.
2. And the woman said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden.
Right?
But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Yahweh hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
So we see she knew the basic instructions. You know, what the Most High told her. See, this is a conversation. She can't lie her way out of this one. Because that's the first thing the devil asks you is, you know, what the Most High tell you. And it's the same thing with everything. When you break a rule, the first thing is asked is, did you know about the rule? It's times when the Most High winked at ignorance. Some things are lawful, but they're not expedient. We are not caught up on it yet and understand what it's supposed to be. That don't make it not lawful. Right. Because you don't believe in the devil don't mean he don't exist. Keep saying it to yourself. He'll visit. Where we at? Verse 4.
Verse 4. And then you also see that tree in the midst of the garden in Isaiah 66.
Yeah.
You know, about the doctrine that people would choose.
Right.
And in the end, the dust will be the serpent's meat.
What gonna be the serpent's meat?
The dust.
See, he's speaking of Isaiah 66 and verse 20 through 25, that where Satan's punishment don't happen to the second coming. See, it's got it in our mindset that he was turned to a snake at that point. Isaiah 66, it go, and the wolf shall lay down with the lamb, and then shall the dust be the serpent's meat. So his punishment ain't even started yet. But ours did. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 4.
What it say?
And the serpent said unto the woman, ye shall not surely die.
So basically he's saying God lied to you. Now you can believe that, or you want to believe that.
Take what's behind
You ain't gonna die. And you're seeing how you were formed and made. And you think the Most High is lying to you. For that thought process to even get in there, now he's trying to work superfetation. But we're gonna get these understandings. Go ahead, bro. Is that, you finished that whole verse?
No.
Okay.
We're gonna need to go down to
No, go ahead, yeah.
8.
Yeah.
Verse 5.
What it say?
For Yahweh doth know that in the day ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food,
Right.
and that it was pleasant to the eye.
Oh, now it's pleasant. Girl, look. You can believe that all you want. But he just don't want you to be a God. You see, I'm a God. And instead of her thinking, but you've been cast down. How you talking noise and you on the ground? You ain't where you ain't on the sides of the north no more. Ezekiel gonna write about you later on in his 28th chapter. Quote me on that, Satan. Instead of her doing that, she started entertaining me as a God. Me as a God.
Ain't that how the Kemetic or the Egyptologists get our brethren and sisters? You gods. You a God. Yeah, but Psalms 82 say you're gonna die like me. Right. Gods don't die, do they?
Right.
Ours don't.
Right. Let's get it, bro.
Verse 6.
What it say?
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eye, and a tree to be desired.
A tree to be what?
Desired.
I may not. Come on, y'all. We got to look at this thing supernaturally and understand. That's like us going out to Grant's Farm. Will you look at that apple tree, brother? Look at that apple tree. I'm getting shortness of breath. That's how they want you to think in modern Christianity, that this is what this scripture is talking about. A fruit tree one to be desired, or you just go in the grocery store and just start trembling at some bananas. Damn. You itching like a junkie. Them bananas right there. Go ahead, bro. Right. Verse 6.
This is verse 6.
Yeah.
And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eye, and a tree to be desired, to make one wise.
To make one what?
Wise. She took of the fruit thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
So they took in knowledge. Give me Hosea chapter 10, verse 13, y'all. Just a one hitter. Go ahead, bro.
You got that word, the guy?
Yeah, or seduce. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So basically, that's how she answered when the time came up when the Lord was questioning. Right. You know, because we see the punishments that's handed out. We ain't gonna labor too long in there. I just want y'all to understand the mindset up here. She's pregnant by two people right now, mentally. Conception have taken place by two individuals, the Father and Lucifer. She's got two mental seeds up here first, rolling around in there. One saying, all you got to do is not transgress, and you will live like y'all living forever. And he coaxed her, or didn't coax her really, but just presented a mirage that told her what the Most High have planned with you can't compare for what I got planned for you. You better read my record. Them third of the angels fell with me. Remember that, don't you? Huh? A third fell with me. Not all of them ain't crazy. Yes, they were. All of them was crazy. Every one of them. Because they do crazy work. They're demons and devils. Where we at?
You want Hosea 10?
Hosea chapter 10, verse 13. Just a quick hitter, y'all, so we understand what did she receive. Y'all hold that Genesis
33.
Yeah, and we're gonna come right back to that, just a couple more verses, because it said her husband did eat. She just told him, look, guess what I found out today? You ain't gonna believe this. Whoa. I've been into the book of the Grimoires. The devil came around here and showed me some things. What? Woman, you playing with the devil? You gonna be surprised what you don't know, husband. What you know I don't know.
Show it to me.
The devil just showed me something, I'm gonna show it to you. And there you go.
Uh-oh.
His eyes bucking. Now they naked. They wasn't just walking around like it was a nudity camp in the garden. Everywhere you read about the Most High, there's white robes glistening 10,000 times whiter than the whitest snow. So that's what they had on the garments. But when you found out you're naked, meaning your innocence has been taken. A baby don't know they naked, they'll run out in front of company. That's the mindset. You have to almost tell them, go back in there and put your, well, let me get up, y'all, put this pamper back on this baby. And if you look back and see some relative licking his eyebrows, you be like, hey, wait a minute.
He got to go. He got to go.
I'm gonna go put this pamper on and I'll be back. And then you come back with that hog leg. Was you licking your eyes at that baby? Because they're innocent. To them, clothing don't mean anything. That's why we have to have that mindset. If your mindset is not like this child, full of innocence, you can't even enter the kingdom.
That's why he compares the kingdom to the
Yeah.
mindset of a child.
Go ahead, bro.
Chapter 10, verse 13.
What it say?
Ye have plowed wickedness.
You have did what?
Plowed wickedness.
Uh-huh.
Ye have reaped iniquity. Ye have eaten the fruit of lies.
What have you eaten?
The fruit of lies.
How do you eat a lie? How do you eat it? How is it possible to eat a lie? Somebody tell a lie. There it is. Right there, I can see it. L-I-E. No. It went in here. You ate mentally. What you got, Sister Kim?
I was finna say what I thought.
Say what you thought, Kim. Because maybe 100,000 other people thinking the same thing.
I was going to say you eat a lie by enjoying what you're saying. It becomes a wonderful feeling, something that you want to do,
But you know it's a lie.
but you know it's not.
You know it's a lie.
Entertainment.
See, because through the pregnancy of it, through the conceiving of it, you got to think down the road. Well, I got to tell them that make sure you tell them I was overheard or the lie going to be exposed. So you got to get everybody lined up. And can't nobody go off point. Now remember, I'm at the 7-Eleven at 2:30. Okay, 7-Eleven at 2:30. Then you call them, man, what'd you say when they came there? I told you you was going to be there at 6:30. I told you 2:30. Well, I ain't used to lying. Right, should have texted to him. Right. Go ahead, bro, where we at? We'll get right back to this Genesis, y'all. And then we're going to get right into Second Corinthians.
13. He didn't finish that 13.
Oh, he didn't finish that 13. Go ahead, bro.
Because thou didst trust in thy way.
In what way?
In thy way.
See, in your own way, that's when you eat a lie. And that's what he told her. You're not going to die. She believed that if I sin, I'm still not going to die. And that doctrine is taught on Sunday. You can do all the dirt you want. Ain't no judgment day for you. Are you crazy? You're going to the kingdom. And that's what's being taught. You can sin and it don't matter. Jesus then took care of all that. So you basically ask yourself, so no matter what I do at this point, I'm good to go. Yes, you are saved. Well, why would I come to church then? For what? It's football on. Right. Why read your Bible? There's another thing. That example is you don't read it. You don't study it. Let's get some more. We done with that?
No, because thou didst trust in thy way.
Right?
In the multitude of thy mighty men. That's all you want.
Okay, yeah, that's all I wanted when we talk about eating the fruit of lies. You see, eating and fruit are all in the same sentence. So y'all, we just wanted to get that understanding that Eve was pregnant with what, at this point, 2 doctrines, because he asked her first, what's the first mindset that you have? What's conceived in your mind?
What's your source?
Right, what baby is you formulating up there to produce for the Lord? So y'all, this is a term called, what you got? Go ahead, Elisha.
And also you'll see, just by looking at that, you'll see that righteousness was on the earth first.
Yeah.
Everything that came behind is a carbon copy, which became the doctrine of sinners.
Right.
So it was righteousness that prevailed on the earth first. So when you hear people saying this so-called doctrine of the doctrines of the Kemetic nation was first and everything, that's a lie. How could Kemetic or ancient Egypt be first when it wasn't even a nation yet?
Superfecundation. And notice again, it uses the word super. Superfecundation. Superfecundation, if I'm saying that right. The impregnation of more than one ovum within a single menstrual cycle by separate acts of coitus. And y'all know what coitus means.
That will be with no interruptus.
Right. Right. Especially by different males. And then right below that, superfetation. Superfetation. the presence of fetuses of different ages resulting from the fertilization and development of 2 or more ova liberated at different periods of ovation in the same uterus.
So now you have birth of Cain and Abel, Esau and Jacob.
So we're talking about mentally first because it's always spiritual.
Wow.
You got 2 pregnancies going in your mind at 2 different times about the same mind. You just got the Lord's information. Now another seed been planted in your head. Like when you hear the terms he planted a seed, this seed was planted in your head, but this is natural, y'all. This is something we see today. All y'all have to Google is, this person has white and black child. And the whole story is all through Germany. This still going on where she was pregnant by her husband, and then that brother soldier was creeping around over in Germany. Now, she may have already been 1 month pregnant with this child, and then he got in there. And now she's got 2 or twins in her womb from 2 different fathers. This is what gave Maury Povich his platform. Who's the baby's dad? See, this is the same thing that's happening with Mary. This same situation. See, Eve was supposed to make sure that if they fell off, she came back and then we get back on good point. But Satan already looking down the line. Well, I'm gonna get her first at the beginning. Then I ain't got to worry about down the line. They're gonna go through so much hell, half of them gonna be worshiping me. That's all I'm in this for. Let me disrupt it at the beginning. Let me start this confusion in the garden. And if you don't go back to the garden to straighten this confusion out, everything Christ came for wasn't at Mount Sinai. He came to correct this Genesis chapter 3. That's what he was born for. And we're going to get back there because I want to read about them seeds in our mind. Go ahead. Hold on, y'all. And another thing, y'all, before we get to this, because we're going to get on both of these. There's another term in our besides. It's called parthenogenesis. P-A-R-T-H-E-N-O, Genesis. Biology. Reproduction of organisms without conjunction of gametes of opposing sexes. So basically, pregnant without the male sex involved. And y'all know all you gotta look up parthenogenesis, and it'll show you every species on earth that the male just be close around and the female gets pregnant. Asexual production is what it's called. Reproduction. It's the same thing the Messiah is doing for us. He never was with a woman, but he talks about his children, his offspring,
His firstborn.
his firstborn, the first fruits of him, supernaturally. But he had one seed in his mind because Satan came the same way for him. You think he cared? He came for him the same way he did Eve, the same exact way. What God tell you?
Asked him about the law. Questioned him about his knowledge of the law.
Get some Matthew 4 right quick. Hold that where you at. Just get some Matthew 4 real quick.
He corrected him according to law.
So, y'all, you see one seed planted and only one conception planted. Slow B. Only one conception planted in your mind. Y'all remember the cartoons where they have an angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other shoulder? And who did they always listen to? And which one always spoke first? The angel always spoke first. The devil on the left always speaks second. Boy, you gonna be a squirrel. L7 squirrel. You gonna be a squirrel listening to that. Boy, do you know how much fun they are having? Look back here, and then they pull a curtain back. Do you see that fun going on back there? And all of them doing this. There you go. Right behind the curtain, smiling. Same thing Proverbs 7 talks about. Know better. than to go behind that curtain, but when it has conceived, when it is made pregnant, it brings forth death. Where you at, Elisha?
What you want at Matthew 4?
Matthew 4, get right down when the devil came to him. Where we at?
Matthew 4 and verse 1.
What it say?
Then was Yahushua led up of the Spirit.
Of the what?
Of the Spirit. Into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil.
See, what a father took him to, the wilderness, where there's no food or water. See, this is when your temptation coming. This when Satan's coming, when there's no food or the water. That's when he coming when the mark of the beast hit, when there's no food or water.
Amos chapter 8.
Yeah, and just like Hebrews talk about Esau, who sold his birthright for what? One morsel of meat. One morsel. What do you think one morsel gonna do? Right here, this is all he sold his birthright for. And it's gonna come down to the mark of the beast. Y'all, you think they gonna be offering lamb? You think you're gonna be able to be like people in the penitentiary that used to be a chemical entrepreneur? A dope dealer. And they talking about their morsel of meat, what they gave up and where they sitting at. So in like manner, you think you're gonna be talking about, well, yeah, dog, but I took the mark of the beast, but they had lamb, they had bitter herb, dog, and no, not for one morsel of meat. Come on. But this is where he's coming from, because we're not practicing for this event that's coming upon the world. Y'all, it ain't gonna be no ask you, do you want the mark of the beast? They gonna say, money is gone. Don't come around here with no money. We don't use that anymore. We're using your body and your hand. If you want it, come down to the post office now.
Let's see your hand or your forehead.
Or your forehead. Come on down here and get chipped up, and you continue life as it been going. That's why the Messiah say, pray that your flight don't be in the winter. Can y'all imagine this at the winter time when the lights go out? You already got tiles stuffed at the door and in the window to keep wind out. And the furnace is going on this last leg. And you stuffing everything to keep, and then everything just go out. It's time to go. It's time, what you gonna do? We know it's coming. So how do we get prepared for it? Yo, that means we have to start practicing how to fast. But how do you fast for 3.5 years? On record, we got 960 hours by 3 men, Elijah, Moses, the Messiah. 960 hours that they fasted. And the Day of Atonement is coming up soon, and we can't even get 24 before we rocking and out of paces looking at your watch. Damn, 2 more. Just 2 more hours to go. And then hit speed out. Jimmy Johns, get here now! I thought you weren't gonna never get here, boy. That Day of Atonement about kill me. That's 24 hours. What you got?
So that brings into mind, man shall not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High.
We in the scripture right now.
So now, you just showed proof that 290 some days.
Hours. 960 hours.
Of the
Yeah.
Most High's word that proceed out of his mouth.
Yeah.
His holy oracles kept these men alive.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So through fasting,
Absolutely.
Have you ever had an instance where you were starved and hungry, but someone asked you, engaged you in a conversation about the script?
It took my
And
mind
all-
right off of,
That hunger left.
and I belched like I just
You
ate.
was filled
Right.
with the Spirit.
Right.
So, and likewise, the Most High says, I'll provide you. Don't worry about it. I got you.
That's for the
I feel
believers.
you. That's why he says he's the fountain of living water.
That's right.
Man can't live by bread alone. He got to live by that living water.
Yeah.
By every mouth, every word that proceeded out the mouth of the Most High, and His holy begotten Son, because it's law
It's law.
and it's wisdom. It's like a honeycomb, sweet for the soul. Nourishment, it's health. We'll see that in Wisdom of Solomon, how it says that wisdom is health
Right.
for the soul.
Let's get it. Where you, Elisha? Verse what?
Matthew chapter 4, verse.
4. No.
I'm at 2. I'm at 2.
2. Go ahead.
And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights. He was afterward and hungered.
A what?
And hungered.
Uh-huh.
And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the son of Yahweh, command that these stones be made bread.
Now notice when he showed up after the fast. And he's talking supernatural talk, so he know who the Messiah is. He already know all he have to do is speak it, and these stones will turn into hot bread. I'm talking about better than old Charlie's, way better than that. Because if you don't watch it, old Charlie's will have you taking home a sack. So at this point, that's when he come at your weakest moment. So you have to train for your weakest moments. You have to train yourself on what can I get, what can I let go of that I keep lying to myself about. How do I train myself to finally let go of what I keep lying to myself about? And everybody, every man and woman know what that is. That I keep lying to myself about that I'm gonna quit. You can't take on a customer or anything like that to help you out. Oh, it's a New Year's resolution. That ain't gonna help. Because next year you get to have a new one. You can go back to that. But repentance means you got to get rid of it.
Don't do it no more.
That's what it means. Turn away from. Forgiveness and repentance, two different things.
Right.
Repentance means to turn away from.
That's why Christ, after he healed everyone, he said, go and sin no more.
That's right. Go ahead, Elijah.
Verse 3.
What it say?
No, verse 4. But he answered.
But
and
he
said,
did what?
He answered and said, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh.
See, so now we're on the same path with the same conversation of how Eve was talking. Eve told the devil, we can eat from this tree, but we can't eat from that tree. Now, we see the same setup right here, where he said, man should not live by bread alone. So both of them on the same path of giving Satan the instructions of the Most High. Go ahead, Elijah.
You go back to Numbers 20,
Yeah.
Deuteronomy 6, and you'll see these same laws. You see this written in the books of Moses,
Yeah.
in the law. All right, so he's giving them answer according to that which is written in the law. Verse 5.
Uh-huh.
Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, if thou be the son of Yahweh.
If thou be who?
The son of Yahweh.
See, he ain't asked him if thou be the son of Joseph. Yeah, we talking supernatural talk here. This supernatural. One battle already done. He 960 hours in, and y'all think this a fleshly conversation. This supernatural. You're getting attacked and you ain't ate in 40 days. That's a month and 10 days you ain't ate. I just chewed on some food this morning and want to get at this. But you can't talk and eat at the same time. It's not good hospitality. Because food gonna be flying. I may spit on one of these and they go out.
Spit all on the camera.
Spit on him, and look, if I'm talking and spit and a piece of food hit him right here, he ain't gonna even mess with it, but it's gonna be burning like ass. Because he's gonna be waiting to do like this. Look,
I'm gonna wipe my face.
you talking and chewing and spit, it can hit on somebody's plate right here and all they food over here. But that plate's done. That plate going to the trash can. You ain't gonna eat like, dog, you ain't gonna finish that. And all of a sudden, man, I lost my appetite. I'm full. You know, this is like Rapper's Delight. Now this chicken gonna taste like wood now. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 6.
What it say?
And saith unto him, if thou be the son of Yahweh, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone.
So he said, look, if you the Most High with you, who can be against you? You can do this, but this is temptation. He's trying to get him to tempt. He took him up on a high pinnacle, like around here, let's just say the Empire State Building. Go and jump off of that and watch them angels swoop like Superman do and catch you like he used to do Lois Lane and bring you to safety and gently put you down. Besides, I ain't gonna tempt the Lord like that, because you know what? I'll be crashing on the ground. Because I'm tempting him from your perspective. Same as 1 Chronicles 21, when he stood up and tempted David to number Israel. Stood up against David, number Israel. Man, the Philistines, man, they didn't got this group to join with them. They like, man, what I heard, David, they like 2 million strong. What y'all got going, man? What y'all got? Number Israel, man, so they won't be thinking that. And there go David. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Every man line up.
Okay, and then he report back. They ain't got but 800,000. David had to pay for them decisions that he made. And then the next book will say, well, the Lord caused David to number Israel. The Lord gave David what his heart was lusting after. We want to talk numbers. This ain't about numbers, this about quality. You can have all the numbers in the world and no integrity and quality. You just got an army of misfits. Because don't nobody know what to do. Numbers don't mean nothing. It was only him and the 12 disciples and all of the Pharisees standing back. These niggas make us sick. It was just 12 of them. But they was loaded with the power on high. Let's get some more. Where we at? What he's saying to him now?
Verse 7. Yahushua said unto him, it is written again.
For the second time, let me tell you something, say.
Thou shalt not tempt the Lord Yahweh.
Thou shalt not do what?
Tempt the Lord Yahweh.
Why? Because we just read he don't tempt with evil. You think he gonna let what he created tempt him with evil? He knows when it's an evil intention. You know you better not try rush hour traffic. I'm gonna see if the Lord really with me. On your mark, get set, and run out there. Boom! Y'all can pull up videos now. Men tempting the Lord go into a lion's den or a bear cage, thinking they Daniel.
Yeah.
Ain't had no visitation or nothing. Just, I believe it's gonna work. I'm going in that lion's den. It'll be just like in the 8th chapter of Acts, where it talk about the vagabond Jews that want to try to cast out demons.
Jesus, we know.
Right. And what the devils told me, like, look, the Messiah we know, Paul we know, but who was you up in here trying to cast us out? I just seen them doing it, and the way they said get on out of here, get on out of here. They like, okay. All right, we finna show you who gonna get on out of here. And that man left naked and torn and stripped out of his clothes. Y'all, see, Hollywood is the forerunner of the future, because their judgment day is without excuse. They show you the doctrine that tries exorcism, that they're never successful. You always see the Catholic priest thrown out the window, don't you? Naked and torn, head twisted around, looking at the crack of his rear end. Every exorcist movie. So you can't say I never saw it, because the devil gonna be like, look, you watched the Exodus 3 times. What you see right here? You seen them with them crosses, and she's still going crazy.
Right. Then it jumped in there.
And that movie was so supernatural.
And it actually happened.
Tormented me as a 12-year-old.
Up at St. Louis U.
That's right.
Alexia and Brussels.
When they first started Exodus, they did it with the Catholics.
Yeah.
But then, when they came back with 1, 2, 3, and the rest of them, they did Christianity and Jesus. And it still worked when the young lady was turning into a...
Well, religion is a Catholic Church system.
Right. It's the whore that sitteth upon many waters, who's ruling right now and everything. Y'all, and see, we look at the Pope right now, but y'all do a study on what's called the Black Pope. Ain't no black individual, but y'all want to know the most powerfulest man on earth who Trump gonna bow to? It's called the Black Pope. Y'all do a little study on the Black Pope and see what type of power he had. Now don't look for no brother sitting there looking like Dr. J like this with an afro pick in his fro. No, it ain't gonna be that. It's gonna be totally opposite of that.
He's just the Black Pope because he's heavy into witchcraft.
Yeah. Y'all, what's gonna come to pass is going to be supernatural. Don't be fooled by no means of anything that this is going to be a cakewalk or this just going to be some type of physical event or some embargo or sanctions on a nation. If you think that's what it is, you sadly mistaken. This is about the soul. Go ahead, bro.
We're not supposed to fear that right now.
No, for what? We're supposed to keep on moving like it's going on around us, which is going on around us. And what I want y'all to understand, when you seeing reports of St. Louis, it's the 13th most violent place on earth, not in America, on earth. I don't see that. I mean, I watch the news and I see a drive-by over here and there, but 13 in the entire world. You're number 13 on the list. But see, because when you're into this word, all of that stuff is in another world. You're in a whole different safety bubble or safety zone that you hear about. Come on, y'all. Most of us, what, 30 minutes from, at least 2-3 blocks from Ferguson, where it kicked off at? So, y'all, we got to understand that when you in this, those things become mute points. You can't even worry about it because it's fear. The flesh gonna die, y'all. If you ain't concentrating on your soul and you trying to save this, it's gonna be a problem. Let's get some more. Where we at? Finish that up,
verse 8.
What it say?
Again, the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain.
3 times, y'all. This how he come at y'all, so y'all understand. He coming in 3. It ain't just we got it twisted over here. When somebody die, well, they say they die in 3s. Well, he coming to kill you 3 times. Go ahead.
And showeth him all the kingdoms of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things will I give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me.
Now, y'all see what it said? He showed them all the kingdoms of the world. Y'all, we're talking supernatural here. So he's showing them America.
And their glory.
And their glory. So it's showing them when they first come up, y'all. I'm talking about of the heights of America's glory. I'm talking about, but the kingdoms before that, all the way to this, he running them to me like, I've been given control of that. All your worshipers quote that in Job. Now, the world is given into the hand of the wicked. Y'all quoting that, y'all know that's me? Who y'all think this is? Your daddy gave them to me. Our daddy gave it to me. I'll give it to you if you bow down and worship me. So Satan is not trying to be the Messiah. Satan is attempting to be the Father. He don't want second in command.
He want top dog.
He want top dog. I'll give you all of this.
But this is what he also do to the entertainment.
Yeah.
I give you all the fame and fortune you want.
Right.
Bow down and worship me.
You want Vogue? You want MTV Awards? Or do you still want Jet Magazine Centerfold? What you want? You want to play with the big boys or you want the small potatoes?
Now all of a sudden you got a whole generation of non-talent individuals, rich and famous, with no talent. At all. At all.
Go ahead, Lux.
At all. And the ones with talent ain't getting no play.
I'm talking about when you got to have an interpreter to listen to a rap song. Them Migo boy. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, and you be like, hey, interpreter, what he just said? You're like, hell, I don't know. But it sure sound funky, boy. They playing it in every
How you get a
club.
record deal?
Yeah.
No, seriously, how you get a record deal?
Right. Go ahead, bro. Let's hit this verse 10 and we're going to get right back to Genesis 3. Y'all, we're going to speed it up a bit.
Verse 10. Then said Yahweh Shah unto him, get thee hence, Satan.
What did he say to him?
Get thee hence. For it is written.
For it is what?
Written. Thou shalt worship the Lord thy Elohim, and him only shalt thou serve.
What the devil do?
Then the devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
Do you see when the angels came and ministered to him? Did they come while he was being attacked or after the attack? After the attack, y'all. When we get through something, the angels gonna be right there with us, y'all. They been there watching. They just waiting to see what you gonna do. They've been getting orders. As soon as he get through this, go hand him the bread. And it's just like any spiritual thing you go through. Once you come down, you are hungry at that point. See, you got a supernatural soul in a decaying fleshly body. And once that thing get charged up like that, when it comes down, it's gonna need some gas.
Because that particular day, brethren, after you got through with the people that you was filled with the Spirit, did you get hungry later on?
Sir Thomas.
Did you get hungry later on after you had finished your spiritual mission with those brethren that you were talking to, when your spirit was filled?
You know, say you had an age.
Once I came down, I was zapped.
Yes, zapped. Yo, look, and they go ahead.
That spiritual work, labor is work, man.
I had to fall in the bed to keep from falling on the floor up against the wall.
And to notice, Satan came the same way after the fast, where you are hungered and you're at your lowest point at this point. At this point, you're kind of vulnerable. But at this point, if it ain't up here, no, I'm gonna eat forever. I'm going to eat. I ain't gonna never have to worry about buying nothing else. And when you see these small generic grapes like this, I'm talking about where you're going, one grape is about the size of this on a bushel. That's where your mind got to be focused like Job. Though worms destroyed his body, I know what's up here. What I'm hoping to see at the end when my Redeemer standing on the Mount of Olives, on Mount Zion, I know what to expect. So his heart is ready for the dirt now. Y'all, if we don't get our heart ready, because if an angel came right down now, though y'all worship and attend weekly, there's 800 years to go. How many of us sitting in here next Shabbat? How many of us? 800 years? That means that's living like before the flood. But we can't get past, y'all, they done wrote us off at 60 of death. And with all the pause, and they know you're talking about another 700 and some years you're going to live before the Messiah come back. Are you going to be able to hang? Because at this point, you know up here, I'm going to die before it happens.
Sure, just imagine Moses.
Yeah.
Going through all of what he went through, and then to get right at the point and then told you go up in the mountain and die because you ain't getting over there.
You see the difference in?
You can see it, go up in the mountain, you'll look at it,
right,
but you can't taste it.
And he has came after 960 hours. Fast, and here comes Satan. Got him talking crazy. When he came back down and earned them dancing with that golden calf, he said, Lord, put that on me. He said, you know I don't play that. Don't put nothing on nobody. What you talking, Moses? Put that on you. They got to pay for their crimes down there. And go down there, bust these commandments up, ground it up, and make them eat it. Make them eat the law. And he did.
Swallow down.
But they got him to strike the rock to elevate too soon. That's what Satan does. Moses, I know you ain't gonna stand for that. Well, how you talking about rolling with the patriarchs of old? You letting these people get up under you? Tell them who you are. You was up on Mount Sinai with the Lord. Go ahead and tell them. And there you go, hitting that rock.
And that's why it's called the rock of strike.
Shit. Struck that rock and split it. The Most High let it split. Boom! And water came out. He really feeling cocky now. And then hollered that, shall we give you water? You ain't seen here yet where the Messiah equals himself with the Father. And the Father came to him, oh Moses, you speak French now, huh? We. So where we give you water. He said, okay, they'll get some water. You got to pay. You ain't getting in the kingdom. And then he put him to death and told everybody why him and Aaron was dying. In Numbers 20th chapter on, Aaron, you dying because of this. Moses, you're dying because of this. But he allowed them to repent. And Moses showed up on the Mount of Transfiguration in Matthew 17. So letting us know where Moses is going to be.
Right.
And Michael came for Moses' body. Didn't have to do no railing accusation against the devil in the book of Jude. He just came and told him, he's like, look, hey, I ain't got to cuss you out, Satan. Get out the way. I come for Moses. Without a railing accusation. You know, all he told him was, you remember this, don't you? When we threw you out of heaven. Satan like, okay, yeah, I remember that. My bad, Mike. My bad. Go ahead, bro. Where we at? Let's get back to that Genesis. Did we finish that temptation? What you got, Thomas?
So you saying in correction with that we?
Yeah.
When you said he don't.
Shalom, family.
You didn't once read in the Bible where he shared. What you said, like the Messiah didn't equal himself to his father.
Never.
Okay, so that brings to mind. So is it just to say that when we speaking these oracles, that we should take I, my, me, mine, myself, and what I think out of our mouth?
Yeah, we should. When it's pertaining to this word, because it ain't about what you feel or what you think.
And when
it's
it's
thus says the
it ain't your
Lord.
word.
Right.
You didn't write this.
Right. This is
You
what.
just reiterated.
Right.
You didn't write this. These ain't your words. You ain't the author of this.
So if I was to speak, well, because a Sunday worshiper told me this, and I noticed this morning that the devil tried to get me early to throw shade on me before I came to the assembly, and I rejected it. Like,
Right.
I'm not taking that energy to my assembly.
Right.
We're gonna cut this short. Now, by my pastor's leadership, the Sabbath, we worship him on the first day of the big Sunday.
Yeah.
And I say, my pastor is Christ. He said,
Right.
consider every man alive but the Father. So by these holy oracles, regardless of what warning he gives you and rules he gives you, you're going to go against what the Father said, what the Messiah said?
Yeah, he rather please.
One more time, by what my pastor said.
And y'all got to understand.
That he leads us to.
They impregnated
They man pleasers.
with two thought processes. One is the baby they really want to bear. The other one, they're saying, well, you know, he say he full of mercy anyway. He know my heart. The heart is desperately wicked.
Deceitful.
Above all, and deceitful above all things. This is your first heart, your mental. Whatever thoughts here sends that message through this heart and pumps the blood either righteously or unrighteously, because the life is in the what?
The blood.
Blood is the life thereof.
So
right.
this could pump all day, but if this dead, this just pumping for no reason. Because you know why? They got you on oxygen then, or a machine that keep you alive. But you dead as a doornail when they say ain't no activity going on up there. Nothing. Y'all, he's in full Curly Stooges mode at this point. Go ahead, bro.
So you're saying by
They can't say any information.
What?
So you're saying by her making that statement, by the leadership of my pastor?
Well, that's how they're just taught, man. So you have to understand what they've been taught. That's the only information they've been given. So she's just regurgitating what she heard, because they don't get to look in
So
here
who
and
is she
see this.
following?
She's following her pastor, absolutely. There's no doubt she's following men, but when you don't get those scriptures that you can't follow a man, you're only getting the scripture that they keep showing you. Love your pastor.
Yeah.
Take care of your pastor. Make sure your pastor eat before you do.
Then they tell them, don't let nobody tell you different. So they ain't even trying to hear you.
It's that deception through ignorance.
But this is what you have to understand, though, y'all. When they're saying my pastor is saying all of these things, you have to be careful and be it. Shalom, bro. Shalom. Be it and observe. You have to understand and be it and observe what they say, but do not as they do. When they're saying my pastor say these things, You have to be careful you don't get into the war and we get into a Sabbath war. That you have to understand, we cannot tell them you cannot worship on the first day of the week. That's where the trap at. You can worship on the first day of the week because Paul did it. Acts 20:5, it was upon the first day of the week he did this because he had to lay over. That don't mean it changed the Sabbath day. It means that they were waiting on some things to happen and they ran into the next day. So he just kept preaching on that day. Right. There's no day that you can't say, or you can say that, oh, we ain't supposed to worship on Sunday. No, that ain't in the scripture. Every day. You just can't call Sunday, the first day of the week, the Sabbath day.
That's all.
That's where it's at. But Satan got you arguing, can you teach the word on Sunday? And now you're in a whole nother argument that's not of the Father. You're talking about you can't worship on the first day of the week. They've got you locked into that argument.
That's why he says,
away from the truth. That's the devil trickery. See, now you arguing about Saturday and Sunday, and that ain't the argument.
And nor is it bearing any fruit.
Any fruit. Because if they don't do it on the Sabbath and they ain't doing it on the first day of the week, what we arguing about one day of the week for? They don't know what to do the other 6 days. It's still a problem.
She snapped when I asked.
Oh, well, I know she snapped.
When I asked, is he teaching the feast days of the Lord?
Boy.
She snapped and never answered the question.
You dare talk about Reverend Good Night.
Exactly.
Good night.
Shame on you. You will get killed down there. You'll get killed. KILT.
They only show up at night.
Yeah, let's get it, bro. Where we at? Genesis chapter 3. I just want to get to the point of right when they knew they were naked, so they understand. Because she's gonna express, yeah, I listen to him. And the seeds, y'all, we're gonna see superfetation. That's all I want y'all to see is superfetation. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 7.
What it say?
Verse 7. And the eyes of them both were open, and they knew they were naked, and they sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
See, and y'all, why they did this, it wasn't just like they was just, like they didn't have no idea they didn't have no clothes on. Their unrighteousness was exposed. It's just like when somebody, man, they snatched the drawers off of him. What does that leave you?
Naked.
I mean, look, if you naked, the only parts you cover up is the parts that should be covered up when you're running naked. So that's why it's always gird your loins with truth, that area. And so this is what they're doing. They're girding the problem in the garden. It's somebody that conceived here, and it's a bad marriage. This is polyandry at its highest level, and that's a woman with 2 husbands. She's got 2 thought processes of her. Now you naked, and you let your woman do this. So you in a threesome, huh, Adam?
Yeah, so now if you see the curses that came,
go ahead, bro.
You see the curses that came behind, became physical curses behind the supernatural acts. There were physical ramifications placed upon them behind these acts.
Right.
So it wasn't just spiritual, there came a physical problem with this as well.
Yeah, death first. Marked for death.
But everything is spiritual first because the spirit is first.
Yeah.
Then the flesh.
That's right. Go ahead, let's finish that up. Where we at? Verse what?
Verse 8.
Uh-huh.
And they heard the voice of the Most High walking in the garden in the cool of the day.
So what did they hear walking in the garden?
The voice.
The voice. The Father don't get off his throne. They heard his voice walking through. We hear his voice in a thunderstorm. It's called thunder. According to the book of Job, that's his mouth speaking. That's what was speaking to Paul on the road to Damascus. When the thunder hit, thunder gets attention.
Yeah, immediately.
Be out there, keep on playing dominoes like you don't care, it's storm. Boom, boom, you hear a little bit in the background. Boom, boom, deal them up, big 6, deal them up. Boom, 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 boom. And you rushing, yeah, I'm in the 3rd house on here. Boom, 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 and shake the table. Oh, time to go. Time to go, the Lord has spoken.
But we the only ones that would tempt them because the animals get ghosts
Yeah, and don't they?
on the first crack of thunder, they get low and gone. They gone. We'll stay out there. Well,
Still playing.
We got about 5 to 10 minutes.
Still playing. Still tempted.
We looking at the clouds. They ain't here yet.
Yeah.
We still got time.
And boy, when he hit that thunder and car alarm started going out and lights flicker.
Our mindsets are just like those sinners before the days of Noah.
Yeah.
We're going to go until the rain drops. And we still going. Things getting wet outside, and not to the pour. Then we want to hurry up.
Then we want to hurry up.
But everything's soaked by now.
He gave him one chance. I was just reading that in the book of Jasher, right? Shook the earth.
Yeah.
And they still, just to give them a chance. Anybody will change their mind.
120 years.
He gave 120 years. Then after they shook the earth violently.
120 years,
They said, nah,
You're talking
How
about.
hard-headed, man. That ain't hard-headed, boy.
Boy, y'all, this Bokeem Woodbine hard-head and Jason Leary. Until y'all watch that movie, y'all ain't gonna understand hard-head and stiff neck. Where we at, bro? We finished it up because we're running late. Yeah.
Verse 8. And they heard the voice of the Most High walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of the Most High amongst the trees of the garden.
Right.
And the Most High called unto Adam, and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden.
What did he hear in the voice?
I heard thy voice
Uh-huh.
in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself.
See, now the other trees, when you get into Ezekiel 31 and Matthew 12, Matthew 7, he talks about trees.
Judges
Serpent, vipers, and
6,
fruit.
17,
Right. An evil tree cannot bring forth good fruit. Neither can a good tree bring forth evil fruit. So, trees are talking about men. Or angels are known as tree. Don't eat from the tree of good and evil. And she's telling you who I ate. He beguiled me. He seduced me. That tree. So they trying to blend in amongst the rest of the angels, and their garment is now it's like it's got a stain on it. It's yellowing now. It's like snow that's been peed on. See, snow is the whitest substance on earth. But what we're talking about is there's no bleach on earth that will get anything whiter than snow. Get your whitest outfit you finna wear to the white party and lay it down by snow, or hold it, wait till it snow and lay it down. It'll look dingy. You know them yellow stains you get up under here? That's the way your whitest garment will look compared to snow.
Girl said no. Don't know about those things.
Look, and I'm telling you, some of us get crazy. I done seen them stains on a leather jacket. So y'all, but just telling you how he does things that's in heaven, that's on earth, for you to understand. Pure, white, and clean is greater than what snow produces you see on earth. A fresh snowfall will blind you if the sun hit off of it and reflect back. This is how white snow is, and pure. We have to understand that, y'all. When you see snow like that, this is supernatural, y'all, because it's coming from the heaven, and it lets you know this is what your sins have to become for you to enter into this kingdom. Whiter than this. You can't have two thoughts in here, because you're going to have stain on your clothes. There's a jelly stain somewhere. There's a mustard stain somewhere. You can't keep getting to the kingdom like that and think the Most High don't see it.
Lord forbid it's a blood.
Because them angels going to do just like this.
The blood stains don't come out. Blood stains don't wash.
Right. Now.
Lord forbid it's a blood stain.
Oh. Let's get this, y'all. We're going to speed this up, y'all.
Okay.
Where we at? 10. Right.
And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked?
See what he asked him? He said, somebody told you that. It didn't come from me. Me and you was good when we got through. I gave you all of the commandments. I told you what you was in charge of. Entire planet Earth. And everything you named it. I gave that power to you. So who was you talking to?
You got a different doctrine. You got a different mindset now.
Let's read some more.
Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
So look, because he's saying, you walked me down the aisle with her. See, that was a marriage ceremony in the Garden of Eden, with all the angels standing around, and they shouting for joy. And it says the Father brought the woman unto Adam. Walked her down the aisle.
That's why the father gives the daughter off in marriage. That's what this is replicating.
Yeah. Walked her down the aisle to him. You're like, what you mean? That woman I gave you. Oh, okay, so now you want to put this on the state like most people do. You know, I got married to the state. No. Let's not play games here. You had my instruction. You know all vows that I gave you, you give to her. And now you finna blame her and you've been eating? You've been eating. See, and that's why we have to be careful when we talk about the physical side of this, that if there was sex involved, a lot of people will ask, well, did he hit Adam too? It says he ate too. Did he hit Adam? Was this a homosexual act he pulled on Adam? See, that's why you got to be careful that we talk spiritual first. Because if you get to the flesh and don't understand eating entirely all the way around, you're going to be asked that question. Then you're going to be doing like this. And then some people just holler, well, that's what the scriptures say. Oh, okay.
Now you're saying the father of all nations is homosexual. So we are birthed through a homosexual mindset. That's crazy as hell.
Hit that Proverbs 30 and 20, just so we understand Eden and understand what he did. All it was passing of doctrine. Look, we can leapfrog this process. He had already told me. So her desire, and when we look up desire,
sexual appetite,
longing, craving. If it was an apple, that would mean somebody would be looking at an apple like this. Ooh, you just don't know.
That's crazy.
That wasn't eating, y'all. The word apple ain't even in Genesis, so come on. Where we at, bro?
Proverbs 30 and 20.
30 and 20. Let's hit that real quick so we understand what Eve does.
13.
We're going down 13. I just want to hit this Proverbs 30 and 20.
Proverbs chapter 30, verse 20.
What it say?
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
So when we understand the way of adultery is what? A woman doing what? Because adultery is woman that breaketh wedlock. And see, we as a whole body in church can break wedlock with the Messiah. Because we're trying to be his bride. We're trying to be found by him. The man that findeth a wife do what?
Find it's a good thing.
No, we can't be on paper chasing, trying to paper chase our way to the Messiah. We can't show the Messiah our rear end and think he gonna choose. That's what the Pharisees told him. They're like, look, if he knew what type of people he's hanging around, all these prostitutes and all these people, if he knew what type of woman this was, would he be here? Yes, he would be here. Mm-hmm. A well man don't need a doctor.
That's right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna go to the emergency room and just be sitting up in there like this and got a number. 13. What are you here for? Nothing. I just felt like sitting in the emergency room. Then they'll be looking like that. Okay, get that room with rubber ready. Okay, we got a room for you, sir. But put these clothes on first. And why is it buckling in the back? Hey, go ahead, bro.
Such is the way of an adulterous woman.
Right?
She eateth.
She do what?
She eateth.
Uh-huh.
And wipeth her mouth.
Right.
And said, I have done no wicked.
Now, where did they make aprons and covered what part in the garden? Was they looking like Jesse James? Or some Crips and Bloods on a drive-by? Was it up like this? Or where did they cover? What do aprons cover?
Loins.
So, y'all, it's the same thing. She eateth and wipeth her mouth. It's for children's being in her. It's two of them for a woman.
They consume them both ways.
The same way. So y'all, we want to try to keep it as clean as possible, but this is a living book. Go ahead, bro.
Also, somebody else had something. We're gonna hit that Ezekiel chapter 3.
Oh, no doubt.
To see the other eating as well. How it's also talking about doctrine.
Yeah.
As well.
Let me finish that up. Did you finish that?
Yeah.
She eateth and do what?
And says she's done no
Wipeth
wicked.
her mouth.
Wipeth her mouth and say, I've done no evil.
To be an adulterous woman, what mouth is she wiping and say she had done no evil for her to be an adulteress?
Right.
Her flower.
Huh?
Her flower.
No. Go to the hot sheets joint with somebody other than your husband. And when you get through,
Her first
some
thing she
soap
gonna
and
do is-
water,
Hopefully she gonna wash off before she go home.
and then get back home. I have done no wickedness.
Where you been? Nowhere with my girlfriend.
Right. Smell like dove.
You won't even use this.
Boy, there's gonna be some problems there. You got dove in your purse and in the trunk of your car. What's going on here? And I have done no wickedness. See, but all that started up here. See, for it had to be conceived and then it had to be played out. You know, in that quick thought process, in that quick pregnancy, already this was the bottom line of throw the rag in the sink. Let's get out of here. Let's get some more. Where we at?
Get that Ezekiel
Ezekiel 3.
Start at chapter 2, verse 8 and through 10, and then jump down to chapter 3, verse 1 through 3.
Okay. So Ezekiel chapter 2. Y'all, and if y'all got any questions about what we're saying, you have to understand this is a physical book. It deals with physical situations that you find yourself in, and it speaks parables all the time, you know. And when you're talking about just quoting scripture, this is Solomon speaking parables. David said, I'll speak this in a parable. The Messiah spoke in parable. Sometimes you have to talk to people in a language they understand. So you can wake them up. If somebody in the dead asleep, like bro said on the radio, he say you can't be just pushing them like this. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey, wakey, wakey. You got to get up. It's time to get up, and wake them up out there. Say, what's going on? What's going on? It's time to go. But you can't coddle that wakey because it makes them angry. No, not gone. Wakey, wakey, eggs and bakey. Sometimes you got to punch these situations right in the mouth. Right in the mouth to get the understanding and the attention of what you're trying to deliver to them, because souls are at stake. Let's get some more. What you got? Zeb, you got that? Go ahead. Who got it?
Ezekiel chapter 2, verse 8.
What it say?
But thou, son of man,
Right.
hear what I say unto thee. Be not thou rebellious like that rebellious house. Open thy mouth and eat.
And do what?
And eat
Uh-huh.
that I give thee.
See, y'all see how these eating scriptures come in? Good one, bro. I need that. Yeah. Go ahead. So what we're talking about is steady taking into the mental. See, that's why every word always have two definitions. Like you look up knowledge. It'll say to bring into the knowing. And then it'll say sexual intercourse. But one has to be before the other. You have to learn this. You can take that baby, a white baby and a Chinese baby, and put them in a playground. They'll play like it's nobody's business. The only one that's going to come in there and disrupt it is told to hate that one. But the deal is when you break them up, 2 seconds later they playing again. So our anger and our malice have to be like children. That when you break us up, we can play again. But our anger ain't like that. Because we finding sliding boards with concrete underneath them and pushing people off. It's rough. They're going to be skin up knees the way we play. So it keep telling us to think like children do. Like children do, because it's pure innocence. You have to be free from the problem that's involved. It's like Adam tried to free himself. I was cool. Had no problem naming them male and female beasts. Said, you brought that woman to me. I didn't ask for her. Okay, so that look you have. So when you see them sheep reproducing, I had to do something about that the way you look. You're watching too close. Like how women know when you got a young boy, when they reach a certain age and they watching you dress and he started to do like this. He too old at this point. Turn your head. I tell you what, get out of here. Go watch TV and wait till I get dressed. At this point, you know he's looking. He has a different look at his mother. You're too old. You're in the 2nd grade. You'll never suckle those again. Quit looking and quit dressing in front of him. He done got too old. Go ahead. Where we at?
Yeah, I got mouth in a concordance.
What it say?
Hebrew dictionary or whatever. Okay, from 6484, the mouth as it means of blowing, whether literally or physically, specifically age, portion, or size, after, appointment, assess, commandment, each edge, in or entry, foul or whole, mind, mouth, or portion.
See, so they took in, they ate with your mental, and that's what you do. They call it soak it up. Soak up all the knowledge. Soak it up. They were soaking up the Most High's knowledge, and then he came along and say, I got some soaking for you to do too.
Mind, mouth, or portion.
And what happens is philandry comes in, and that's a woman with 2 husbands. It's philandry. You know, so, and that's a dangerous thing, you know, that our mind search as a church, and that would be like we then played around with another God. Allah in the back burner. He on that hotline when it rang. Who is this? Allah. Go on, tell her Allah to your husband, but I need to meet you over here. There you go, playing with that one. Just like these scripts we're going to read, Ezekiel said, and keep playing with another God. Here come Buddha now.
Here come the Assyrian, the God of the Assyrian, the God of the...
There you go, chasing them. Let's get this, y'all. We got to get caught up. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 9.
What it say?
And when I looked, behold, an hand was sent unto me, and lo, a roll of a book was therein. And he spread it before me, and it was written within and without. And there was written therein lamentations and mourning and woe. Chapter 3, verse 1.
What it say?
Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, eat that thou findest. Eat this roll, and go speak unto the house of Israel. So I opened my mouth, and he caused me to eat that roll.
So y'all think this, what they done put some K-Roll syrup? Some of y'all may be too young to know about that. But you got that with government cheese. So you think this what he's saying? He putting K-Roll syrup on the scriptures. Eat this roll. Eat this roll. Eat these Bible like they just ripping pages out. No. Putting it in here. Go ahead, bro.
Verse 3.
What it say?
And he said unto me, Son of man, cause thy belly to eat, and fill thy bowels with this roll that I give thee. Then did I eat it, and it was in my mouth as honey for sweetness. And he said unto me, Son of man, go, get thee unto the house of Israel,
right,
and speak with my words unto them. For thou art not sent to a people of a strange speech,
right,
and of an hard language, but to the house of Israel.
That's right.
not too many people of the strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely, had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
Yeah.
But the house,
Go ahead, you read that last one.
but the house of Israel will not. I'm sorry.
You right, 7.
No, I skipped 2 pages. My bad.
Oh.
But the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
Hard-hearted. Same thing as saying hard-headed. I'm talking about head hard as Rufus or Jones. Some of y'all don't know about wrestling at the Chase back in the day. He used to do the head butt. Hard head.
And hard-hearted.
And hard-hearted. Finish that Genesis up, y'all. Let's get down to the seeds, because I need to get into 2 Corinthians, y'all. We passed the 3 o'clock hour. Got to get caught up a little bit, y'all. We ain't got long.
Genesis, where you want to
3, wherever you was at. I just need to get down to the superfetation of these 2 seeds.
Y'all was at 12.
12. I'm at 13.
What it say?
And the Lord Yahweh said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done?
What he asked her?
What is this that thou hast done?
See, when Adam blamed it on her, how the Most High do judgment, he went right to who you pointed the finger at to ask them. See, that's how we get down. That's how you get to the truth. You said it was her, let me go ask her. Go ahead, brother.
And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me.
What did the serpent do?
Beguiled me.
He tricked me, he seduced me. He seduced me. Go ahead.
And I did eat.
And I did what?
Eat.
So she liked you.
And the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this.
See, now he has to go get him. Oh, you lower than a footprint now, huh?
But you see, he rounded up all the accused.
That's what he did. Each
them
one
all.
of them, though, punishment is according to their part in the crime. Just like today, you get caught doing something. If this one didn't know, he's going to get charged because he's in the car. But it may not be what this one got charged with. But you're going to get charged, everybody in the car. Because you had the opportunity before you got here, like boys in the hood. Let me out the car, dog. Let me out the car. But you didn't ask, you kept on riding. Back there, fur on you. If I get out, they're going to kill me. So be it. Go out that way, then the popo's killing you. Go ahead.
Verse 14.
What it say?
And the Lord Yahweh said unto the serpent,
Right.
because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go.
Right.
And dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life.
So you got to understand, when those people get physical, they'll teach that that's where Satan was turned into a serpent and he was on the ground like this and he eating dust. Serpents don't eat dust.
They eat live.
They taste dust to see where they food at. But ain't no snake out there, belly is full of dirt. None.
They eat flesh.
But see, these are supernatural punishments because it happened in a supernatural world. So the punishments are supernatural. They last longer than we think they're supposed to last. They last through generations. And look, Satan still ain't been punished yet. Because just like he quoted Isaiah 66, 20 through 25. Isaiah 65, 20 through 25. And then shall dust be the serpent's meat. And then, that means after everything else you're reading about the second coming, then your punishment happens. And you know what the dust is? The residue of all those that believed in him and fall to him. That's what you'll eat. You'll eat those who you train. You eat those who you double cross. That's going to be your meat. Enjoy your offspring.
Yep. You're going to eat the flesh of your own.
Let's read on down to them seeds.
Verse 15. And I will put enmity.
What are you going to do?
I will put hatred.
Right.
Between thee and the woman.
Uh-huh.
And between thy seed and her seed.
Right.
it shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
See, multiplying of conception because she had 2 seeds in her. Now I'm going to double up the pain of having twins on you all the time. See, this is what women is going through now, the birth of like having twins. 2 babies coming out at the same time. And if y'all cussing like the devil on one coming, can you imagine 2 of them at the same time making their way out?
And then greatly multiplying the sorrow is the death.
It's the
death of your children.
Right.
Seeing the death of your children.
Multiply thy conceptions. 20. Just to keep us in memory of what took place, why we died. Let's get some more. No, we good on that. Did you get to the seed?
Let's say, in sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
Right.
And thy desire shall be to thy husband.
Thy what?
Desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee.
So right here, her curse was, now you have to get in line and you must listen to him. Okay, now we finna get to man. Go ahead.
Verse 17.
What it say?
And unto Adam he said.
And unto who?
Adam. Because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. In sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee.
Right.
And thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground.
So right here, the punishment for him is you was on easy street.
Gotta work.
You made it rough for yourself. So now every time you eat, instead of me feeding, you got to feed yourself. You got to go dig and get it yourself. But hers was, he's gonna rule over you. So now we got this problem in Israel with this commanded polygamy, because one side is saying you supposed to listen to me, shut up, and the other side is saying you supposed to work from the sweat of your brow. So that's what the argument is. Lazy nigga, strong-headed woman, lazy nigga, strong-headed woman, lazy nigga. That's where the argument is at. Both sides don't want to adhere to the punishment. It's both sides. If you ain't out there coming out the field like Jacob was, sweating, all in secret places, to bring home the turkey bacon, then you're striving against what the punishment was, and you're kicking against the pricks. You're going to find a road to Damascus soon concerning this. You keep kicking against the prick because it's on us. Ain't nothing we can do about it. It's one thing if your health don't allow it, or you've had some kind of disease or something that don't allow you to go get it, but there's still a way. You still have to call them folks up and say, I can't work no more, my arm hurt. Can y'all give me some money about arm hurt? You got to get out there and do something. You got to have something flowing if you're going to have a female. It's not a free male. Ain't no such thing on planet Earth as a free male. They cost. All throughout this Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, say, if you find your way in close quarters, it's going to cost flesh, it's going to cost money, it's going to cost this. All of these things coming up, Bill Cosby, it'd have been easy if he had to just gave them women the money and just said, look, if you say no, then I'm offering $1 million. Because look, he's going to go to the penitentiary at 81. Mickey Fanning and the whole nine. Bill Cosby got out of control. Where we at?
Old Bill, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, gotta finish that 19.
What it say?
For out of it was thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife named Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Unto Adam also and to his wife did the Lord Yahweh make coats of skins and clothe them. And the Lord Yahweh said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand, and take also of the tree of life, and eat, and live forever. Therefore the Lord Yahweh sent him forth from the Garden of Eden, to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims, and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
Hold it right there. So we can see why he was put out, but he was in paradise. See, brought him from, see, the whole world is Eden. And he planted a garden eastward in Eden. And that's where he brought the man to paradise, in the Garden of Eden.
Placed him.
And placed him there in paradise. You can't ask for no better than that. No. Born in the kingdom. Born in the kingdom. We can hold that. 2 Corinthians chapter 11 and 2, y'all. We're going to speed this up. With 3:49, we ain't got but a few more minutes. So, you know, sometimes my minutes be like hours. Yeah. Chapter 11, started 1 and 2. And y'all, we're going to see how Paul's mind goes back to the Garden of Eden. We'll see where his mind goes back and how he's, where in this walk is he going back to? How far is he going back? 2 Corinthians chapter 11. Y'all, we're going to hit a couple more, y'all. We're going to get ready to get on out of here. But I got a couple I have to hit. And if you can't get a chance, pull that Testament of Reuben up there. Who got it in the pocket? You got it? Okay. 2 Corinthians chapter 11.
When the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 11, starting at verse 1. And it reads, would to Yah we could bear with me a little in my folly, and indeed bear with me. For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy.
What kind of jealousy?
Godly jealousy.
See, this is a different type of jealousy. This is not Sirach chapter 9 type of jealousy. This is a godly jealousy, like he's jealous of how we go flirt with another God, a spiritual God. This is godly jealousy. I'm jealous over this church like the Most High was jealous over what Adam them did. Go ahead.
For I am jealous over you with godly jealousy. For I have espoused you to one husband.
What have he did?
Espoused you to one husband.
See how the Father is saying, I espoused you to one husband. I gave you to my son. And y'all broke that. You know, I set up the wedding ceremony with my son and y'all, his church, his bride. I'm the Father. I'm gonna present y'all to y'all husband, the Messiah. Go ahead.
That I may present you as a chaste virgin.
As a what?
As a chaste virgin to Hamashiach.
Right.
But I fear, lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety.
See how far we go back, y'all? We went all the way back to the garden with this. This is the comparison. You're not to compare it to anything. We need to get back to the supernatural portion of what happened. See, so when some read like the wisdom of Solomon and they read the book of wisdom and the Apocrypha and they see different things. So what they start to do is water the Christ down. They'll go Hebrews 2:15 and 2:16 made after the law and different things. But Hebrews 7 say he was made after an endless commandment. And that's supernatural. That's how he was first formed in the heavens. If you put 2 before 1, it's going to always be a problem. We have to get back to when Christ was formed right there. He was in on creating the world. And we're going to hit that scripture next. But this is why Paul went all the way back to the garden. Not like, yeah, I want to present y'all, but look how Eve was espoused to Adam. And already Satan got in her head. Go ahead, bro.
So your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is in Hamashiach.
See, what is, so your mind should be what?
Corrupted.
See what he talking about? What gets corrupted? If this corrupted, the flesh on its way rotting out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's on its way out. When the mind is corrupted, because you talk about death and you pronounce death on you. You're a rapper, your next album, Born to Die. Guess what happened? Today, rapper killed. Though his album sold 9 million copies, he's dead. You start to talk death. Y'all, we supposed to talk life. We can't talk about this dying because it's going to happen. Ain't nothing we can do to stop it. Can we? Y'all, is it a super fruit out there? I don't care how many juju beads and berries you ground up. Guess what? The time is ticking.
Dr. CB still dead.
You can pull your face back with plastic surgery. You can puff these out. You can balloon that out. But your internal organs are still the same age. And it's still rolling. And that's where it comes from. Death starts on the inside. When it starts eating through the flesh, it's already in your blood.
Mm-hmm.
Where we at?
We're in verse 4. For if he that cometh preacheth another Yeshua, whom we have not preached, or if ye receive another spirit, which ye have not received, or another gospel, which ye have not accepted,
right,
ye might well bear with him. For I suppose I was not a whit behind the very chiefest apostle. But though I be rude in speech,
right,
yet not in knowledge. But we have been thoroughly made manifest among you in all things. Have I committed an offense in abasing myself, that ye might be exalted? Because I have preached to you the gospel of Yah freely?
How did he preach it?
Freely? I robbed other churches, taking wages of them to do you service.
Right there, they like Paul, a jack artist. He robbing other churches.
11.
See, so when you understand what Paul said, I went out this to go to other churches to make sure y'all mindset is right. I took from them to give to y'all. This is where, what's that boy named, the robber that they talk, Robin Hood. This is where this came from.
Take from the rich.
Take from the rich and give to the poor. I did all this so y'all be presented the way y'all supposed to be. Those who supposed to have knowledge, I took from them and gave to y'all. I robbed where I come from. Paul was a master Pharisee. Knew the law backwards and forwards under Aaron. I took from them to give to y'all. Yeah, I robbed the other churches. We spoil the Egyptians when we come out of there. We're going to spoil this nation. But we can't rob each other. Because it ain't going to be no nation at that point. You can hold that, bro. The speed is on up. Let's get right to 1 John 3. Because we'll see the other seed produce. But we have to look at it spiritually, or we have to go into an intense physical sexual act, because there's other things you're going to have to deal with. If we keep it spiritual, we ain't got to worry about the physical part of it. Because you're going to have to deal with Genesis 4:1, who was Cain's daddy. 4:1 say it was Adam. So you have to go through that and may explain that, okay, well maybe he's the father over Cain like Joseph was the father over the Messiah. But you got to start digging, and then so to keep from having to just run down that line, we run it spiritual, can't nobody be wrong. Because spirit is truth. We know she was seduced spiritually up here. And we know he touched her mental because she reacted. It was deeply ingrained in there. And she was so smooth with it, it convinced Adam.
Right.
Yeah, I met a player today. You met a player?
You can eat pork.
Yeah. The pastor the same way.
You can eat. It's always, it ain't gonna kill you. They say you can, as long as it comes out in the draw.
Yeah, it's okay.
Just pray over it.
Just pray over it.
He says it's not what
Right.
goes in a man that defile him, but what comes out of a man.
Right. Right. So y'all have to really think about that Mark 7. It's not what goes into a man that follows him, but what comes out. But what can come out of you? Look. Right. But I'm just saying, even if you could eat whatever you want, how going to the toilet defile you? It don't make sense, right? If they're saying this mean I can eat pork, well, it's only going to come out of you one way. When you're sitting on a toilet stool. So how does that defile you?
But the doctrine comes out in the most filthiest.
And that's what we're talking about.
It
It was what comes out of you comes from your heart. I can't stand you. You make me sick. And when you say you make me sick, go and keep hollering them off, lies. What makes you sick, you become sick. When you hear their voice, you get a sick feeling.
Dis-ease.
Dis-ease. That's why it said if you do Deuteronomy chapter 28 verse 1 through 15, you should have ease. E-A-S-E. But if you fall into 16 through 68, it's going to be dis-ease. D-I-S-E-A-S-E. Or disease. It's going to bring about disease. And it's going to work, and which is going to bring about death. Go ahead, bro. Where we at?
When the book of 1 John and in chapter 3, you want to start at 1?
11 is getting right to it. We want to get right to, let's just bag it up. Yeah, you want to do it from 1? Is that what you're saying, Liza? Oh, you want to get on, jump down? Okay, go on. Okay, yeah, start at verse 9.
At verse 9?
No, start at verse 7. Yes, sir.
Verse 7?
Yeah.
All right.
No,
4.
4 we're going to start.
You sure we are?
4. Yeah. 1 John chapter 3, verse 4.
We're in the book of 1 John, chapter 3. We're going to start at verse 4.
What it say?
And it reads, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
So anybody that's teaching that the sin is done away with or we're not sinners, there cannot be a law. For sin is the transgression of the law. That's biblical talk. Just like Ezekiel 18. It's iniquity. When you break God's law, it's called sin. Anybody let the word sin come out of their mouth, you should be waiting or hold them to the body of notes that says these are the transgression of the title of sin. You can't mention sin and say there's no law, because then there's no correction for sin. Is it? How you gonna correct yourself? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5.
What it say?
And ye know that he was manifested to take away our sins, and in him is no sin.
Is no what?
Is no sin.
So now we got to think about that, because Psalm 51, everything you use that wisdom of Solomon, whatever you're doing, that Hebrews 2:15 saying everybody born after Adam is a sinner. And it's not talking about from the like that baby back there is a sinner. What it's talking about is she's marked for death.
She's got to die. It's appointed to every man to die once.
Her flesh born of her father and mother is already got a mark on it.
It's already beginning to die.
It's got a death penalty on it. It started to die. And some of us know, we feel it now. When you get past 35, you're halfway, you're at the top of the mountain, what's promised to a man. 70, a score being 20 and 10. 3 of them is 3 times 20 is what? 6. Plus 10 is what? So half of that is what?
35.
So where you at 35? At the top of the mountain. 36.
You said that sounded depressing.
So 36, 37, 38, you have to slow it down.
Dog, I'm at 51. I'm already
Oh, come on, dog.
I'm on a decline.
Look, my birth certificate wrote on a rock, so I ain't gonna even tell my age. But we're starting to come down the hill. And then when you get to 70, if you make 71, you're on what's called good time or borrowed time.
Psalms chapter 90.
Either you're gonna be borrowed, hoping you change because you may have power to change a whole nation of people. You've been so wicked and then you change at 80 and this whole nation came because look, our ages don't matter to the Most High. It's just a drop in the bucket. He's called the Ancient of Days. So I want y'all to really think about the first day, how far everybody say day one was in the Bible. He's ancient to that.
He's way before that.
Way before. I'm talking about ancient, Elijah. To that, to day one. That's why his title is the Ancient of Days. So what we talking about 60, 70 years, that's about 2 minutes. It's about long as a commercial our life. A Super Bowl commercial. Let's get some more. What's that?
Verse 6. Whosoever abideth in him sinneth not.
Right.
Whosoever sinneth has not seen him, neither know him. Little children.
Little who?
Little children.
Why y'all think he addressed us as that? Little children. Go ahead.
Let no man deceive you.
Let no man. See, and the problem is the word let. So deception is a let process. How you gonna let somebody tell you got big screens around the corner, but I can't go show them to you because the popo's riding thick, but just give me your money and I'll go around the corner and bring it back. Watch the sun come up again on you, wait. It'll be the next day. Damn. And then you so scared to go around the corner because you know what's around the corner. Nothing. An alley. Anybody around here seen a man selling TVs?
No, but I can see one.
We ain't seen no man around here selling just like Judah looking for that oil. Gone like good candy with your money.
Ain't no harlot been here.
Go ahead.
All his signets.
Everything. Gone. Where do you start looking when it's gone? It's like coming out of your house. You know where I parked at. Why are you on the next block thinking you parked there and maybe just walked home? Why are you looking down here when you know right here is where I got out of the car and I hit that chirper? What you looking for is gone. Go ahead, bro. Right.
Verse 7. Little children, let no man deceive you.
Right.
He that doeth righteousness is righteous, even as he is righteous.
Right.
He that committeth sin is of the devil.
Is of who?
Is of the devil. For the devil sinneth from the beginning.
See, yo, this is how far we talking about sin goes back. So, who is the devil but Satan that sinned at the beginning? He wasn't conned by a third of the angels. He conned them. And he told them, your father done gave me earth and I'm running it. So you can get down with me, but I'm not trying to worship you, Messiah. No, I ain't trying to worship you, partner. I want to be the big muckety muck. Go ahead.
For this purpose, the Son of Yah was manifested.
Right.
That he might destroy the works of the devil. Whosoever is born of Yah does not commit sin.
What do they not do?
They do not commit sin. For his seed remaineth in him. And he cannot sin because he is born of Yah.
See, his seed remain in him. See, it's within him. It ain't going to be spewed out. It's not going to be no premature wicked baby, so to speak, coming out of this. His seed remain in him. Basically, he's a dry tree at this point, that where he's being fruitful and multiply in his mind is spiritual first. See, you may be a dry tree and can't have children, but you still have to be fruitful and multiply. And we're going to get into that because we know Paul, well, we know for sure the Messiah.
Sirach 11, verse 16. 15 and 16, let's start.
Sirach, chapter 11, verse 15. Wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the law, or of the law. Love and the way of good works are from him. Error and darkness had their beginning together with sinners, and evil shall wax old with them that glory therein. So if you wickedness and evil, if you glory in that, you shall have your portion in that. So basically all this is telling us little children born of the Messiah. that seed remain in you. You just ain't dumping your seed on every ground, in every hole in the ground. And basically what I'm talking about is like a farmer plants corn over here. He don't plant corn in this crop's trough, so to speak, or its ground. It don't plant it there, it don't mix it. The seed is where it's supposed to be, remaining up here till it's time to produce. Because if you produce it any other way with influence of another doctrine, the seed can't remain in you. It's gonna burst out. It's gonna be war in there like Esau and Jacob in the womb.
It's just like if you don't know anything about gardening and everything, there's certain plants you can't put together because one will choke out the other. The vines, the roots will choke out the other. So, you know, wheats and the tares.
And look, the Most High, everything he created good, like 1 Tim 4 say, every creature is good. That don't mean you can eat every creature. It didn't say every creature is good to eat. What it's saying is they have their purpose. How would we be talking about, yeah, man, I'm preparing some Jack Simon for y'all. If it hadn't been for them shrimps and lobsters cleaning the bottom of your ocean, you're going to have dirty Jack Simon. If that pig didn't keep all of them slop jars and all of the filth from everything else that you throw in there and let him eat it up, you'd have, what do they call, squalor around your house. That's why on the Flintstones, what was under the sink eating the trash? A pig. No, Dino was the dog.
Well, he was a dinosaur.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying, it was their dog. But just from that perspective, it's already being shown to you. That's how the devil play. He show it to you while you watching TV. He show you what a pig position is. And you say, oh, he eating all that. And then will, on a feast day of this nation, you'll grab shitterlings. And you'll cook them up. And not only that, but you hide them like they gold.
Yeah, they staying at the old house.
Who don't know they've been up in here? The house smell like it. It smell of the pig. But this is why we can't look at that in a bad light. The pig totally. You can only look at it bad like it says. Its carcass can never be eaten as food. It's not food. No more than moonshine is gasoline. But moonshine will start a car. It'll fire it up, but it'll be. You gotta hit the guy. So pork do you the same way. You be walking just like that. Boy, what's wrong? My sugar high. My vis low. My breath from what's not considered food. The badger skins cover the Ark of the Covenant. And it's out of the weasel family. What is it doing covering the most sacred thing that hit earth at one time? What is it doing covering the Ark of the Covenant? Huh? What is badger skin doing covering the Ark of the Covenant?
Keeping it dry.
Keeping it dry because it's waterproof. Ezekiel 16 say he shod us in waterproof sandals. Y'all think about that. So why we love gators and snakes and lizards, that ain't just showed up cause this guy opened this store. No, we always been that people. Y'all gone? Shalom, y'all. Shalom, sis. So y'all have to understand, this has always been our history. But we have to understand. Some people tell me you can't play football because it's a pig skin. Are you eating the football after the game? When they say to the victor go to spoil, do everybody get to take a bite off the football? Oh, we tore him up today, didn't we, dog? Here, take a bite of this. No, it says for food. Let's leave it right there with what the scriptures say, and we can't go wrong. We won't get caught up in that. But if all the shrimps go, if all the lobsters go, fish is off the menu. There ain't no good fish you're going to be able to eat if the cleaner is gone. It's the same way with your fish tank in your house. What you got in there cleaning the tank? Algae eaters, baby catfish, eating all the doo-doo of your other fish. And you sitting there looking at him, you don't understand this. Let's speed this up, y'all. We got number 2 more scripts and we're going to get on out of here. 1 John 3:11. Yeah, finish that up. And y'all just want to get a little bit into the dry tree. We're going to skip the Testament of Reuben because it's kind of long. I just want to hit these few points real quick on Nicodemus as well. In John 3, the born again, y'all, because this is what talking about. You have to be born of the Spirit all over again. You have to walk your life totally different from how you was raised. You got to start over. If that's 60, 70, or 80 years old, you are starting over as a child. But guess what? You're in innocence. Let's read.
We're in the book of 1 John chapter 3 and verse 10.
What it say?
In this the children of Yah are manifest, and the children of the devil.
Right.
Whosoever doeth not righteousness is not of Yah.
Right.
Neither he that loveth not his brother.
Right.
For this is the message that ye heard from the beginning.
Where we hear it from?
From the beginning. That we should love one another. Not as Cain, who was of that wicked one, and slew his brother. And wherefore slew he him? Because his own works were evil, and his brother's righteous.
See, so we have to really take a good look, because you're going to be asked, well, Cain should have been a giant if Satan's his dad. So you have to be careful. You don't want to get into all of that. And then you got the Genesis 4:1 you got to deal with, you know. So we know, could it have been superfetation? We know for certain it was like that, because when she had him by Adam, the first thing she said was, I have gotten a man from who? The Lord. From the Lord. She wasn't talking about Adam. She was talking about who she thought was her Lord. It was Satan. That's why Cain went the way he went. But this is the problem we got. The Most High say, if you sacrifice, you shall be forgiven. If you do right, Cain. So if he's technically the son of the devil, a wicked tree can't bring forth good fruit. So he would have never been given the opportunity to do right, because he's already marked for death. That's why I say, if you're born of the devil, you can't, there's no life in you. There's no second living for you. So if he hadn't killed his brother, but it was total influence because his mama wanted the baby to be Satan's.
Because of the doctrine that she received from him. It's just like bad doctrine is always allowing you to do the things you lust for.
Yeah.
That's good, that you think is good. You know. You always think the other side of the grass is greener.
Always think,
until you find out.
It's AstroTurf.
It's AstroTurf with holes in it.
Right. And some of that glue coming up. Yeah, we're going to hit these last couple and we're going to get on out of here, y'all.
You see how in
go ahead, bro. Go ahead. Hand your business
in Ezekiel 28, when you're talking about Satan being in the garden.
Yeah.
About how he'll create things to make it look so beautiful for you. So desirous until you get into it. And then it's over. It's just like the Proverbs 7, the strange woman.
Yeah.
Who sits in, and she's decked her house out and her beds with aloes and perfumes and things of that nature, and then you're not knowing that she's full of death.
Oh, there you go. With your covenant in your hand. With your covenant in your hand.
It's a mindset first.
Your circumcision in your hand.
You got captured by her beauty.
Right.
By that came through the mindset. The looking glass of the mind.
Y'all understand what he's saying? It was already up here. But you get one last warning. When you get naked, what's in your hand? Your circumcision. For doing right.
Not the magic stick.
Oh, boy. Then you start lying, and y'all think about how Satan do. Just tell her you're only going to put the circumcision in. That's the part ain't supposed to be in there because it's illegal. You do better with your thumb. But not your circumcision.
Got your fingers in the walk and not your
Because what is it finna bear?
Oh, boy.
bad fruit.
It's finna bear bad fruit, y'all. It's finna bear bad fruit because it's made off of a deal that we're both gonna try to control lasciviousness and superfluity. You can't control superfluity when it's in its full strength. How?
Matthew 5 saying you look upon a woman to lust after, you've already committed adultery. That's
Already
through the
done.
thought.
Look,
Through the thought.
you see and you look at the backside and already you like this in your mind. You done throw the rag in the sink in your car.
You've already done it. And the mind can do things that the body can't even manifest.
Y'all know what
you
he
done
talking about?
stuff that you can't even do in real life.
Look, here's a law for thinking carnally. Deuteronomy 23:10 talks about a man having a nocturnal emission or a wet dream. With your carnal mind looking like this, you can't make that happen. How do you make it happen watching a dream in your mind and you like this? As soon as you do it, men who know, this is what I done heard from except for men. They say at that point, you know they soggy. From what I hear, y'all. Hey, y'all, let's speed this up. Want y'all to write, we're just gonna hit these two quick hitters about a dry tree because we don't want to lose the fact that even if you keep this physical, then that excludes the spiritual side. Because you may be an accident. You can't produce life at this point, and a young man, something may happen to you where you can, but you still on the hook spiritually because guess what? You won't be in a wheelchair in the judgment line. You're going to be standing up and you're going to know it's judgment at that time. You'll be like, wait a minute, where's my check? No, your soul is supernatural. It don't take wounds like that. It don't take licks like that. It's going to be standing up in judgment.
Wrong.
And that's that one boy talking about he don't believe in God. What's that dude's name was like this? Supposed to be Stephen Hawking, supposed to be the smartest man in the world. When he get in judgment, he gonna think maybe they found something while I was asleep. No, you in judgment. You standing up. Your face is straight. Now you finna see who you say never existed.
This face ain't gonna be straight.
Right.
Twist it up.
Let's get this man, Matthew 19:2. And we're gonna hit 1 Corinthians 7. Y'all, and then I just want to read the first few verses of the Testament of Reuben, y'all, we get out. Just the first few verses so we understand. He's telling you how sin conceived in his mind and made him go after his father's wife, which was his little brother's mother. How you gonna look your, let alone your daddy, but your little brother in the face? So y'all, Matthew 19, verse 2, and then we hit 1 Corinthians 7 and 7. Y'all, then we pull up that Testament of Reuben. Y'all, we're just gonna read a little bit of that first chapter so y'all understand what happens when sin has conceived up here. Y'all, when it says it has conceived, that means the egg and the mental sperm have hit and a baby is being formed up here mentally. The thought of it. And then it's going to manifest itself in the flesh. It's women who want a baby to be somebody else and so bad they just be rocking and it may have some features. Oh, that's his baby. And then as soon as they go to the doctor, no, that's Earl's baby. That ain't his baby. It may look like him, but you can want and you can wish so hard for your desire, like Eve said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. What Lord you talking about? You talking about Adam, or you talking about that one that came to you and deceived you and told you some things? Because that boy acting just like him. That's who he acting like.
He's a liar and a murderer.
Boy. From the beginning.
From the beginning. And he went to his place, like Judas.
Yeah.
He said Judas had a devil since he was a baby. He went to his place.
Yeah. Perdition. Let's get it, y'all.
Matthew chapter 19. What verse you gonna start? 2.
Yeah. You saw the one just here right there.
And it came to pass that when Yahushua had finished these sayings, he departed from Galilee and came into the coasts of Judea, beyond Jordan.
Right.
And great multitudes followed him, and he healed them there. The Pharisees also came unto him, tempting him, and saying unto him, Is it lawful for a man to put away his wife for every cause?
So he go into it, but we're going to skip down to verse 10 for time's sake, and verse 12 is where I want to get to.
Verse 10. His disciples say unto him, If the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry.
See, and this is what he's talking about, physical marriage at first. When you read all through it, for time's sake, we're moving through. And he's seeing all the pitfalls that the Messiah is telling him about a man and marriage. And the disciple asked, well, should men even get married? Then if this the case, is this much drama coming behind marriage? Should we get married? Go ahead, read some more.
Verse 11.
What it say?
But he said unto them, All men cannot receive this saying, save they to whom it is given. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb.
Meaning that a man was born without testes, so to speak. So he's born a eunuch. He can't produce. It's like these men, they would train them up as soldiers, and they would guard the king's women, the woman's house. That's what they was for. I said for, but for. That's what they would do, because it don't matter what's going on up in here. Ain't nothing happening down there. Right. He could think all he want like that. The finest one could walk by with no clothes on, and all he can do is sigh.
Like History of the World Part 1.
Yeah. Ain't nothing happening. Ain't no tingling. Ain't nothing there. Go ahead, yeah.
He's definitely a eunuch.
You're right.
He's not a eunuch. The ship is up and going.
Right.
Verse 4. No, I'm not 11. 12, right? Verse 12. For there are some eunuchs which were so born from their mother's womb.
Right.
Which were made, and there are some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men.
Like in slavery, they would cut your production off.
Like George Washington Carver.
Yeah, or like Django. Y'all remember the one part when he was upside down? He was finna be made a eunuch. With a hot blade that wasn't gonna kill him. They did George Washington Carver like that?
He was actually done like that by his slave master.
Yep, that's why he had to happen.
He was castrated because the slave master didn't want him to be looking at his daughter. So they castrated. And if you ever heard live video of him talking, he had a very high-pitched voice, real high-pitched voice. And they used to call him gay. They thought he was a homosexual. But
right.
Actually, they just didn't have testicles anymore.
Right. The testosterone builder.
It's gone because the slave master had him castrated as a young boy. Yeah, right.
Go ahead, bro.
Okay, verse, I'm at 12 still. And there were some eunuchs which were made eunuchs of men.
Right.
And there be eunuchs which have made themselves eunuchs for the kingdom of heaven's sake.
For what sake?
For the kingdom of heaven's sake. He that is able to receive it, let him receive it.
See, that's what it's saying. You're walking away from worldly pleasures about the kingdom's sake. That's what the Messiah was saying. That's why he was saying those who understand it can receive it. Go ahead, flip to that 1 Corinthians 7:7.
Yeah, that's what Paul was saying.
So is that the spirit over the flesh, man?
It's over that. See, they still got them and can produce at any time. But they're not even thinking about that. That ain't even coming to their mind. Their flesh don't rule them.
That's what Paul was about.
Yeah.
That's why Paul said, man, I wish you could be like me and not touch a woman.
Touch a period, right?
Go on, hit that 7:7, y'all. We're going to read just them first few verses of the Testament of Reuben, y'all. We're going to get out. We're in the right. We got about 2 minutes to get this done.
1 Corinthians 7?
Yeah, and 7.
And 9.
And 2, 9.
We go to 7 through 9.
Y'all, and then we're going to hit that Testament of Reuben. Can you get that up? Yeah. Y'all, and bro, read it out. You got it in there, right? The Testament of Reuben. Yeah, and the 12 patriarchs.
I'll read it.
You got it, you got it.
Okay, all right, okay.
1
Okay.
Corinthians
Thank you,
chapter
Zeb.
7. We all there? 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 7.
Yeah.
For I would that all men were even as myself.
See, he say, I would that all men was like me. Go ahead.
But every man hath his proper gift of Yahweh.
Every man got your own gift. You can't want what this brother got because then it will be coveting. Every man got his gift for this body.
Right.
Go ahead.
One after this manner,
Right.
and another after that. I say therefore, to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry.
See, and that's what he's saying to the widows and who?
And to the unmarried.
See, let them
Single
remain like I am right now. But if it's too great for you, go on down the altar. Get down there now, because you ain't going to be able to handle superfluity when it comes. Y'all, it's the most powerful, let me say, force on earth, second or third to the Holy Spirit. I want y'all to understand what I'm saying here. This force has been used since the dawn of time. It's that same force that you see a commercial and a woman washing her hair with shampoo and she's having a good time. I mean, I don't care what commercials on TV, it's about that. That is your reward. That is your reward. Go ahead. It should be just to 9.
Okay. Let me hit 8 again.
Okay.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide even as I. But if they cannot contain,
If
let
they
them
cannot
marry.
do what?
If they cannot contain, let them marry. For it is better to marry than to burn.
And see, that burn ain't talking about the lake of fire. It's talking about when lust jump on you, you will burn like you are on PCP.
And it won't stop until you have conceived. Until it's a manifest.
Until it's gone. Your clothes must come off, or they will be burned up.
Lose your mind. Can't sleep.
Y'all think about it when you was youngsters sneaking around and you was a fabric burning champion. When somebody's mother had left. Fabric be set on fire.
Fabric burning.
Hey, boy, who we fooling? We can hold that, y'all. Just hit that Reuben, y'all. We're going to get on out of here just the first few verses of that. If y'all got y'all iPhones, gonna pull up Testament of Reuben. He gonna put it up on the board though. Hope y'all vision good. He just gonna read a couple verses.
Well, chapter 1.
Yes, sir. It's in the 12 patriarchs, the Testament of Reuben. Now, like Genesis 49 is Jacob telling his sons, this is mine inheritance. This was going to befall you on the last day. Each one of those sons told their sons what will befall them on the last day and what had them in this position. So they understand when Jacob talked about Reuben and he said, Reuben, my firstborn, you unstable as water. Now Reuben going to tell you what caused the unstableness. And it was what was conceived in his mind. Go ahead, bro.
Testament of Reuben, chapter 1, verse 1. The copy of the Testament of Reuben, even the commands which he gave his sons before he died, in the 125th year of his life. 2 years after the death of Joseph, his brother, when Reuben fell ill, his sons and his son's sons were gathered together to visit him. And he said to them, my children, behold, I am dying.
I'm what?
I am dying. And go the way of my fathers. And seeing there Judah and Gad and Asher, his brethren, he said to them, raise me up that I may tell to my brethren and to my children what things I have hidden in my heart.
Hidden where?
In my heart.
See, this is a day of visitation. He's on his deathbed. This is a deathbed confession. Tell my two brothers, get my children here, let them know why I'm dying. Let's read.
For behold, now at length I am passing away. And he arose and kissed them and said unto them, hear my brethren, and do ye, my children, give ear to Reuben your father, in the commands which I give you. And behold, I call to witness against you this day the God of heaven, that ye walk not in the ignorance of youth and fornication.
See, together, youthful fornications. It's like Sirach talk about an old fool that doteth. How you an old player 70 in the club still? Britches pulled up to her. Because your waist ain't the same, rattling chains, and asking who want a Pepsi with they drink. Hey, pretty girl, hey! Skeezer, skeezer. That's what y'all use. Skeezer, skeezer. Keys in his hand. Skeezer.
Oh, man.
You get old like that, boy, it's gonna be a problem. How you think you still in your youth up in the club?
And what's so sad, man, we all done seen it. That's why it's so funny, because we done seen it. I seen it.
Go ahead, bro.
That ye walk not in the ignorance of youth and fornication.
Right.
Wherein I was poured out and defiled the bed of my father.
What'd he do?
Defiled the bed of my father Jacob.
Right.
And I tell you that he smote me with a sore plague in my loins for 7 months.
How long?
7 months.
Now y'all imagine walking like Fred Sanford for 7 months. Can't let nothing come close to touching that. I mean, ate alive. Go ahead.
And had not my father Jacob prayed for me to the Lord would have destroyed me. For I was 30 years old when I wrought the evil thing before the Lord.
See, he was a young man, 30, in his full strength at this point. A lot around this time we say 28, the devil come for you between those ages. Come for Mike Tyson, come for Michael Jordan, come for you about 28. That's when you're in full man status at this point. You're a man, testy setting in the socket. They're ready to be a man. That's when he come at these ages and he say he got me right in that age range. It's when the Messiah started his ministry at how old? 30 years of age. That's when he came at him.
And your strength is in your loins then, as you were full strength in the loins.
Go ahead, bro.
And for 7 months I was sick unto death. And after this I repented with set. I gotta get back over.
39 he was. Go ahead. No, 30 years old. 30 years old, that's not verse 9. Go ahead.
With set purpose of my soul for 7 years before the Lord. And wine and strong drink I drank not, and flesh entered not into my mouth. And I ate no pleasant food, but I mourned over my sins. For it was great, such as had not been in Israel.
See, it was great in Israel. There hadn't been a mother for unlawful carnal knowledge. When we say you black mother, YFUCK is always in capital letters for unlawful carnal knowledge, meaning for unlawful carnal intercourse. And then you put an ER on the end. And you put a mother before it, because the man that lieth with his father's wife have uncovered his father's nakedness. Leviticus 18, Leviticus 20:11, Deuteronomy 27:20, Habakkuk 2:15. Woe be the man that give his neighbor the bottle to drink, that he may uncover his nakedness. So when you see Denzel Washington in the movie Devil with a Blue Dress, you understand it. Because he gave that man the bottle. And when he went out, he was gone. When he woke up, no. It was a rag in the sink. And first thing he said, I know my baby ain't gonna do nothing like that. I've been hearing rumors. I'm like, man, you've been asleep. There was banging of headboards while you was full of that good whiskey. Go ahead.
You want to go on chapter 2?
That's it for that?
Yep.
But all I want to do, y'all get into chapter 2 as well. Chapter 2 get explosive because what chapter 2 started to break down the spirits that attack a young man. This one attacked for this sense. This one attacked so your 5 common senses are being attacked by demons to throw you off the path to get you on the journey of sin. What verse we got to close out with? Y'all get a chance, go ahead and read another about the dry tree. Isaiah 56, 1 through 8, Luke 23, 27 through 31, and also all of that wisdom of Solomon, chapter 3, verse 10 through 13. I meant to say all of chapter 7. So I may have went quick. But y'all, what Elijah was talking about is burning. When you get to the point that where you're trying so hard, you'd have been a fabric burning champion. Now epididymal hypertension is on you. Y'all look that up when you get a chance. Epididymal hypertension. Street name called blue balls. Should have just said it, bro. But that's the medical term for it. Because you're backed up, and this could cause major problems. Epididymal hypertension. It gets backed up so bad you have to go to the doctor, and he'll make you think he's Arsenio Hall because his finger, he has to go up there and hit that so it'll go. Because it's backed up now. It has to be released.
So that's a legitimate excuse.
Yeah,
Somebody Google epididymal hypertension for me. But this is what I'm talking about. He has to do that. And see, if his fingers as long as Arsenio Hall, he may tell you, oh, I see you got an ear infection too. Hey. Boy, you don't want to be caught up like Ruben. No. It's going to be trouble, y'all. Let's close out. Got an announcement, y'all. Garden duty tomorrow. How soon they need to be out there?
9 a.m. It's gonna be warm.
It's going to be warm, y'all. Plenty of water. Get up there early before the heat of the day. Between 12 and 2 p.m., y'all should be trying to get on out of there before the heat of the day starts. But needing all hands on deck to get that done so you can get on out of there. Email coming out shortly, y'all, concerning the Feast of Tabernacles. You know, so that'll be out for everybody. And y'all, we're going to go ahead and continue to move forward, y'all, as we get through these trying times. Shouts out to y'all, our family out there. Y'all glad y'all were able to tune in. Y'all got any questions or concerns? Shout them out to Brother Tobias, God's Warrior 298. He'll handle all that business. Tomorrow, y'all, the Hebrew One show, 7 to 10 a.m. Tune on in. Go ahead, bro. What you got?
Just wanted to say we laid our brother David Dawid to rest yesterday. Just want the worldwide family and everybody to keep Sister Tabitha in their prayers.
That's right.
May the Most High have mercy on that fallen soldier soul.
Yes, sir.
All right. We're going to close out with Psalms, the first chapter, with the Most High's permission, in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. Long live the King.
Long live the King.
The book of Psalms, chapter 1 and verse 1. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Most High, and his law law doth he meditate day and night. And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. The ungodly are not so, but are like the chaff which the wind driveth away. Therefore, the ungodly shall not stand in the judgment, nor sinners in the congregation of the righteous. For the Most High knoweth the ways of the righteous, but the way of the ungodly shall perish. Hallelujah! Say God!
Yahoo! Yahoo! Hey, y'all got a shekel or two, y'all. We greatly appreciate it.
All right.
Some of you boys know the tales of fabric burning.
Y'all boys got some problems around here.